In this class, we're going to go over WAEC 2025 Mathematics Past Exam Question Solution. Okay, let's start with the objective question. We have the first question here. The volume of a cone of height 18 centimeter is 8,316 centimeter cube. Find the base radius of the cone. Take pi equals to 22/7. Okay, let's start by writing out the information that we're given in the question. We are given that the volume of a cone of height. So the first information that we're given here is the height, which is 18 centimeter. Okay. Now we are given that the volume, which is V, equals to 8,316 centimeter cube, and we are given to take pi. We are asked to take pi as 22/7, and we are asked to find the radius. Okay. Before we can calculate the radius of the cone, look at the parameters that we are given. We can get the radius from the volume, because the volume of a cone can be written as this: V equals to 1/3 pi r square h. This is the formula for the volume of a cone. So, and we've been given the volume as 8,316. So just substitute the value of the volume as 8,316. So I'm going to have 8,316 equals to 1/3 times pi. The pi has been given as 22/7. So I'm going to have 22/7 here, multiplied by r squared, multiplied by h. The height is the h, and h is equivalent to 18 centimeters. So I'm going to have 18 here. Okay, with respect to what you are given here, all you have to do now is to solve for the value of r. Okay, so 3 here, 1, 3 here, that is 6. Okay, so because I have this one separated by an equals to sign, I can cross multiply, right? Or let me just do it step by step. 8,316 equals to 22 times 6 times r squared all over 7. Okay, this over 1. From this point, I'm going to take the cross product. Okay, so I'm going to have 22 times 6 times r squared equals to 8,316 times 7. Okay, 22 multiplied by 6, that is 132. 132. So I'm going to have 132 r squared equals to 8,316 times 7. That is 58,212. 58,212. Okay, having gotten to this point, all you have to do now is to divide both sides by 132. So this over 132 and this over 132. So r squared is equals to 58,212 divided by 132. That is 441. Okay, 441. So to eliminate the square on the top of r, I have to take the square root of both sides. So I'm going to have this. So r is equals to 21 centimeter. 21. And because the unit here is centimeter, just put centimeter. So the correct option to that question is option A, which is 21 centimeter. Do you understand? Okay, that is the first question. Okay, let us proceed to the second question. A square has diagonal length of 10 centimeter. Find the perimeter of the square. Okay, now when we talk about perimeter refers to the total length on the total length of the plane shape. Total length around the shape is what we call the perimeter of the shape. Okay, so we have a square here, and the diagonal is the line that comes from this point to this point. Or if you have another square here, you can draw the diagonal as this. Are you getting what I'm trying to see? So we are given that the diagonal is 10 centimeters. So the length of this is 10 centimeters. Don't forget that a square is a plane shape that has all its sides equal. You understand? A square is a plane shape that has all its sides equal. So if this side is x, this side will also be x, this will also be x, and this will also be x. Do you understand? Okay, so but we cannot calculate the perimeter of the square without knowing the length of the side, because perimeter talks about the total length of a shape. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So if I want to get the perimeter of this now, that will be what? L plus L plus L plus L. That is what? 4L. So because I represent each side as x, that will be what? X plus X plus X plus X. That is what? 4x. Now, before I can get the value of the perimeter, this is the perimeter. Perimeter equals to x plus x plus x. That is 4x. Now, I cannot get the perimeter without knowing the value of x. That is where Pythagoras theorem comes in. Okay? You can just bring out this triangle that you see here. This triangle A, B, and C. Triangle ABC. From triangle ABC, this is the triangle. You can see that this length is x and this length is x, and this has been given as 10. Do you understand? Okay? So from this triangle, we discover that the hypotenuse side has been given. Is that not it? Yes. So all we have to do is that just use according to Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse squared is equals to opposite squared plus adjacent squared, right? And hypotenuse has been given as 10. So I'm going to have 10 squared is equals to the opposite squared, which is x, we don't know it, then plus the adjacent squared, which is x as well, we don't know it as well. So I'm going to have 100 is equals to 2x squared, right? So divide this by 2, this over 2. I'm going to have x squared is equals to 50, okay? To eliminate the square on the top of x, what will I do? I will square root of both sides, okay? So x is equals to, the square root of 50 can be written as square root of 25 times 2, right? So x equals to 5 root 2. Okay, so this is the value of x, but I'm not actually looking for the value of x. What I'm asked to find is the perimeter, and having known that the perimeter is 4x, so I'm going to have the perimeter equals to 4 multiplied by x. X now is what? 5 root 2, so I'm going to have multiplied by 5 root 2. Okay, the perimeter now is what? 20 root 2 centimeter, because we have the length of the diagonal in centimeter, so the unit of this will also be centimeter. Okay, so that is the the root is not covering the centimeter. Okay, so the correct option to that question is option C, 20 root 2 centimeter. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. The height of 4 orange seedlings are 2 centimeter, 5 centimeter, 7 centimeter, and 10 centimeter. Calculate the variance of the height of the seedlings. A 7.2, B 6.0, C 8.5, D 9.1. Okay, we are given that the height of 4 orange seedlings. So the numbers of orange is what? Numbers of orange is 4, you know, and their height are this respectively. The height are 2 centimeter, 5 centimeter, 7 centimeter, and 10 centimeter respectively. Okay, now before we can calculate the variance, you see, you will not be able to solve this question if you didn't remember a formula. Okay, the formula for variance is this: variance is equals to summation fd all over summation f. This is for frequency distribution. Okay, now because this one is not group, you understand, and it's not a frequency distribution, you can just proceed like this: variance is equals to summation x minus x bar squared all over summation all over n. You understand? Just use this formula to get the variance. Okay, now x minus x bar is the deviation. You understand what I'm saying? X minus x bar is the deviation. So the deviation, the d that you have here means deviation, and the square is what I have here. Do you understand? So because this one is not a frequency distribution table, you can use this. Okay, so the meaning of x bar is the mean. So how do you calculate the mean? Mean is given by this formula: x bar equals to sum all the data, sum all the value that you have in your data, sum it together and divide it by the count of all. For example, we are having how many data here? We are having 4, and each individual are 2, 5, 7, 8, 2, 5, 7, 10. So I'm going to have 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 10 all over 4, right? Okay, 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. 14 plus 10 will give me 24. So for this, I'm going to have 24 all over 4, which is equivalent to 6. Okay, Now, having gotten the mean, we can now get the variance. All we have to do is that the variance will be equivalent to x minus x bar. What is the value of x? X are all these values, you understand? The mean is what I have here. So when x is 2, I'm going to have 2 minus, which is 2 minus x bar. X bar is 6, so I'm going to have 2 minus 6. You square the answer plus 5 minus 6 squared plus 7 minus 6 squared plus then 10 minus 6 squared, 10 minus 6 squared, okay? All over summation and all over n. N is the total numbers of your samples, you understand? So this will be all over 4. Now, having gotten to this point, the variance is equals to, now 2 minus 6 is negative 4. Negative 4 squared will give me 16. 16 plus 5 minus 6 will give me negative 1. Negative 1 squared is what? 1. 16 plus 1 plus 7 minus 6 is 1. 1 squared will give me 1. Plus 10 minus 6 is 4. 4 squared will give me 16. All over 4. Do you understand? Okay. 16 plus 1, 17. 17 plus 1, 18. 18 plus 16, that is what? 34, right? So I'm going to have the variance equals to 34 all over 4. 34 divided by 4 will give me what? That is 8.5 or 8.5. So the variance equals to 8.5 or 8.5, okay? Let us, 8.5. So let us check the correct option in that question. The correct option to that question is option C, which is 8.5, okay? Now let's proceed to the next question. Two towns X and Y are located at point -2, -5 and 3, 7 respectively. Calculate the distance between the two towns, okay? This topic is coming from a topic in mathematics known as coordinate geometry, and if you are well versed with that, you will discover that the distance between two points can be calculated as this. Okay, we have 2 point X. On point X, we have -2, -5, and we have another point which is Y. That is 3, 7, right? Okay, please pay attention. We want to calculate the distance between this. This is tan X. This is tan Y. We want to calculate the distance between these two towns. In coordinate geometry, the distance between 2 points can be calculated using this formula. Okay, distance between X and Y is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, now this coordinate that you see here, listen to me carefully. Here, this one that you see here is known as x1, and this one is y1, this one is x2, and this is y2. Okay, with respect to what you have been given now, all you have to do is just substitute the values that you have here into this formula, okay, and get the distance between the point x, y. Do you understand? Okay, let's go. For this, I'm going to have the square root of x2. x2 is what? 3. So I'm going to have 3 minus x1. x1 is what? -2. 3 minus -2. Okay, plus, okay, y2 is what? 7. So I'm going to have 7. Now y1, okay, minus y1 is what? -5. So I'm going to have -5. Do you understand? Okay, please pay attention. Don't forget that there is square. You have to square your result. Okay, you have to square your result. Now for this, I'm going to have the square root of 3 minus -2. Negative times negative will give us positive. Okay, so I'm going to have 3 plus 2, that is 5. So I'm going to have 5 squared plus 7 minus -5, that is what? 7 plus 5. Because if you take the product of a negative number and a negative, this one that you see here, there is an invisible one here. You understand? Okay, negative times negative will give us plus. So 7 plus 5 is what? 12. Okay, I'm going to have 12 squared. So for this, take the square root. 25 plus 144. That is what? The square root of 169, sorry. So the square root of 169 is 13. So the distance between the two terms is 13, and the correct option to that question is option C, 13 units. 13 units. Okay, so you can see that it's simple. Now let me give you an advice. WAEC will not test you across a sole question. WAEC will test you across many topics. You can see that the first question that we solve here is coming from a solid shape, while the second question is coming from something like Pythagoras theorem or this plane shape, and the third is coming from statistics, while the fourth is coming from coordinate geometry. You can see now. So WAEC will not test you on a single topic. So if you discover that you are weak in some aspects, you can reach out to me personally. I have some video that I've done that can actually help you understand. Okay, so so that's the solution to that question. Let's proceed to question number 5. Question 5. Given that x to the power of negative n raised to the power of 4 is equals to 1 over x raised to the power of 6, find the value of n. Okay, we have this x raised to the power of negative n raised to the power of 4 equals to 1 over x raised to the power of 6. Okay, how do we find the value of n? This question is coming from a topic known as indices. Okay, you see, when you see a math question, you must know the topic that it is coming from, and in addition to that, you must know the rules that guide the topic. Okay, so according to law of indices, 1 over a can be written as a raised to the power of negative 1. 1 over a raised to the power of 2 can be written as a raised to the power of negative 2. And there is another law of indices that state that a raised to the power of b raised to the power of c can be written as a raised to the power of bc. Okay, so eventually if I have a raised to the power of 3 raised to the power of 2, this is equals to a raised to the power of 6. Now, using these two laws, we'll be able to solve this question. X raised to the power of negative n raised to the power of 4 can be written as x raised to the power of negative n, okay, negative 4n, okay, because negative 4n, just according to this law. Okay, and according to this law, 1 over x raised to the power of 6 can be written as x raised to the power of negative 6. Do you understand? Okay, now because the base are equal, that means that the power, we are going to equalize it. You understand? So we are going to set the power to each other. So I'm going to have minus 4n equals to minus 6. Okay, to get the value of n, you divide both sides by the negative 4, which is the coefficient of n. This over negative 4, this over negative 4. Okay, n will be equals to, now reduce this fraction to its lowest term. That is what? 3 over 2. The correct option to that question is option C. You understand? Okay, let us proceed to the next question. We have solved 1 over 3. We are asked to solve, okay, don't let me write the number here. 1 over 3 multiplied by k minus 4 minus 1 over 2 multiplied by k plus 1 is less than 1 over 6. Look at this question. It is coming from a topic known as inequality. You understand? Okay, so you can see in inequality. Okay, let's go. You're going to see what I want to I'm going to ask you a question, and eventually if you are well versed with the topics, you should be able to answer the question. Take the product of 1 over 3 and k over minus 4. You're going to have k minus 4 over 3, right? Minus k plus 1 over 2. No, this will change to, okay, let me put bracket. Is less than 1 over 6. Do you understand to this point? If I remove this bracket, that means that this negative sign must affect both k and plus 1. Do you understand? Okay, so we must put the bracket to indicate that this negative 1 is affecting both k plus 1, k and 1. Do you understand? Okay, take the LCM. The LCM of this fraction is 6. So I'm going to have 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 times 2, okay, k minus 4. 6 divided by 2 is what? 3. So I'm going to have 3 times k plus 1 minus 3 times k plus 1 is less than 1 over 6. Do you understand? Okay, 2 times k is 2k. 2 times negative 4 is what? Negative 8, okay? Minus 3 times k, minus 3k, minus 3 times plus 1, that is what? Minus 3. This all over 6 equals is less than 1 over 6, okay? So collect like terms at the numerator of this fraction. 2k minus 3k, that is what? Negative k. Negative 8, negative 3. What will be the answer? That is what? Negative 11. Negative 11. This all over 6 is less than 1 over 6, okay? Now, all you have to do now is just take the cross product, you understand? At least you cross multiply. So for this, I'm going to have negative k minus 11 multiplied by 6. This 6 is equivalent to 6 times 1, which is 6, okay? So the next step is that you have to divide both sides by 6. This over 6, this over 6, this. Do you get it? Okay, so I'm left with what? Negative k minus 11 is equals to 1. Do you understand? Now you have to collect like terms by taking this negative 11 to the other side of the equation. So the equation becomes like this: negative k is less than 11, 1 plus 11. So I'm going to have negative k is less than 12, okay? Now, because I'm looking for the range of values of k, so I have to divide both sides by negative 1. Do you understand? And anytime you are dividing by a negative sign, what happens to the inequality sign is going to be reversed. Do you understand? Okay, so I'm going to have this over negative 1, this over negative 1. So I'm going to have k is greater than negative 12, okay? So the correct option to that question is option D. You understand? Let's proceed to the next question. In a class of 42 students, 21 offer history and 28 I'll beat you. In a class of 42 students. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. In a class of 42 students, 21 offer history and 28 offer government. If each student offers at least one of the two subjects, find the probability that a student selected at random from the class offers government only. Okay, let's go. The total numbers of students that are present in the class is what? 42. So I'm going to have 42 is what? Oh, sorry. The total numbers of students. The total numbers of students is what? 42. Okay. Out of these 42 students, 21 offer history. So the number that offer history is what? Is 21. Okay. And 28 offer government. The number that offer government is 28. Okay. Now look at that statement. If each student offers at least one of the two subjects, find the probability that the student selected as random from the class offers government only. You see, this topic is coming from this question is coming from a topic known as set. Okay, and in a set there is something called universal. You understand? Universal set of a set is the set that contains other sets. Okay, and in this question, this can be regarded as the universal set. So I'm going to have a Venn diagram to explain what I mean. This is how a Venn diagram look like. On this Venn diagram, I'm going to have two circles because I'm only given two subsets, which is what? History and government. Okay, so I'm going to have one circle here, one circle here. The circle must cut across each other. The reason is because there are some students that take part in both history and government. Okay, so I'm going to call this one history. I'm going to call this one government. Okay, please pay attention. The universal set will be here. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Which is 42. The total numbers of students is 42. Okay. I'm going to represent the student that study both subjects as X. Okay. So student that study history will be what? 21 minus X. History only. Do you understand? And student that study government only will be what? 28 minus X. Do you understand? Okay. Now, before I can, please pay attention. Before I can find the probability of students that study government only, I need to get the numbers of students that study government. Do you understand? And that is the reason why I drew out this Venn diagram. Okay. So, let us get the value of X. Do you understand? So that we can subtract it from 28 to get the numbers of students that study government only. Okay. So the value of X can be calculated by summing all this together and equivalency and setting it equals to 42, because the total numbers of students, both students that study history only and students that study government only and students that study both subjects, all of them, when we sum their numbers together, they must be equivalent, they must be equals to 142, because in the question we've been given that there are 42 in a class of 42 students. Okay, so for this I'm going to have 24 minus x, 21 minus x, 21 minus x plus 28 minus x equals to what? 42. Okay, so negative x, positive x, I'm going to have this. Okay, 21 plus 28, that is what? 49, right? I'm going to have 49 minus x equals to what? 42. Do you understand? Okay, negative x equals to 42 minus 49, right? So I'm going to have negative x equals to what? Minus 7. So divide this by minus 1, this by minus 1, x equals to what? 7. Okay, so having gotten the value of x as 7, I can proceed to calculate the numbers of students that study government only by subtracting 7 from 28. I get what I'm trying to say. So numbers of students that study government only will be equals to 28 minus 7. So I'm going to have 21. Okay, having gotten the numbers of students that study government only, we can proceed to calculate the probability of a student being selected at random. So having gotten the numbers of students that study government only as 21, we can now proceed to calculate the probability. See, let me explain again. Do you know what I did here? I sum all these values together and set it equals to the total numbers of students. Then I collect like terms and get the value of x. This x that you see here is known as the numbers of students that study both subjects. I get what I'm trying to say. So having gotten the numbers of students that study both government and history, to get the numbers of students that study government only, I have to subtract the numbers of students that study both government and history from the numbers of students that study government, like 28 minus x. Do you understand? And 28 minus x will give me 28 minus 7. 28 minus 7 is what? 21. Because x is equivalent to what? 7. Do you understand? Okay, so let us calculate the probability. So the probability that a student selected at random will be a government student, will be numbers of government students. That is, please pay attention, numbers of government students only, that we calculate all over the total numbers of students. Okay, so the probability will be equals to, the probability of government only will be equals to numbers of government only numbers of students that study government only is what? 21. So I'm going to have 21 all over the total numbers of students. The total numbers of students is what? 42. So I'm going to have 21 over 42. 21 over 42 is what? 1 over 2. Okay, so the final answer to that question is 1 over 2. And the correct option to that question is option C. Do you understand? Okay, let us proceed to the next question. Okay, consider the following statement. P represents the weather is warm. Q represents the sun is shining. Which of the following correctly represents the statement the sun is shining if and only if the weather is warm? Okay, we have option A. This is the first option that we are given. P. Option A, we have this. Option B, we have option C, we have this. Option D, we have. Okay, listen to me carefully. This topic is coming from a topic. This question is coming from a topic known as logical reasoning. Okay, and if you are part of our previous class, you should be able to solve the question. The sign that you see here, if and only if, is a sign in logical reasoning that stand for by conditional. You understand? Okay, so the correct option to that question is option D. Please pay attention. I'm going to explain the meaning of each statement. You understand? P by conditional negation Q is stand for P represents the weather is shining. So P that you see here means that the weather is shining if and only if. Negation Q means the sun is not shining. You understand? Because negation of a statement is the opposite of the truth value of that statement. Do you understand? So just check this channel to watch those classes on logical reasoning. I drop part 1 and 2 on this channel, so watch it, okay? So to understand more on logic. So the correct option to that question is Q by conditional P, because Q stands for what? The sun is shining, and from the statement we are given that the sun is shining. So Q comes forth if and only if P, the weather is warm. Do you understand? So the correct option to this question is option D. Okay. Now for the next question, we have the bearing of F from G is 064 degree. That is 64 degree. What is the bearing of G from F? Okay. The bearing of F from G is 64 degree. The bearing of F from G. I'm going to have 2 here. The bearing of F from G. So the bearing of this place from this place is what? 64 degrees. So, and I told you bearing is measurement of distance in degree. You understand? So that means that if I want to measure from this point to this point, that will be 64. With the line, you see, in bearing we are trying to measure the distance between 2 points in degree. You understand? So the bearing from this point to this point, 64 degree. What is the bearing of G from F? The bearing of G from F. The bearing of G from F will be this. The distance from this point to this point and to this point. That is the bearing of G from F. Now, how can I get the angles? Please pay attention. This is the question. How can I get the angle from this point to this point? Don't forget that this one that you see here, this cardinal point that you see here, this one is 90, this one is 90. Now, having known that from this point to this point is 90 and 90, that will be what? 180. This angle is 180. Now, but I need this smallest angle. I need to get the value of this smallest angle. By adding the value of this smallest angle to 180 degree, I'm going to get the bearing of G and the bearing of G from F. You understand? So now, don't forget there is something called alternate. See, 64 degree, this angle is alternate to this angle. This angle will also be what? 64 degree, because alternate angle are what? They are equal. So the total numbers, the bearing of G from F will be the sum of all these angles, which is what? 180 degree plus 64 degree. Okay, that will be what? 244 degree. That is the solution to that question. Option C is correct. Do you understand? If you want to learn more on bearing and distance, check this channel. Check the playlist on this channel to watch the video. Okay, let us proceed to the next question. Ajoke will be 31 years in X years time. If Ajoke is 6 years older than Chioma, find an expression for Chioma's present age. A, 25 minus x. B, 31 plus x. C, 25 plus x. D, 31 minus x. Okay, please pay attention. Look at the first statement. This question is coming from a topic known as word problem. Okay, so in word problem, ability to interpret question is very important. Okay, now Ajoke will be 31 years in X years time. Okay, let us derive an expression for the present age of Ajoke. Let Ajoke be A. Let us represent Ajoke as A. And let us represent Chioma. Let us represent Chioma as C. You understand? Now, we want to write expression for the present age of Ajoke. Now, the expression for the present age of Ajoke will be A equals to 31 minus X. I will explain to you. Let's say, listen to me. You that you are watching me, let's say you are 25 years old right now. You are 25 years old right now. In 5 years time, you are going to be 30 years old, right? Yes. If I want to get your present age, that will be what? 30 minus 5, that is 25. That is your present age, right? Now, from the question, we've been given that Ajoke will be 31 years in x years time. So if I want to get the present age of Ajoke, what will I do? I just have to subtract x from 31, and that's what I did. The present age of Ajoke is 31 minus x. Now, if Ajoke is 6 years older than Chioma, now listen to me. Ajoke is also 6 years older than Chioma. That means that I'm going to have Chioma's age, C, plus 6 will be Ajoke's age. Do you understand? Please get what I'm saying. Chioma's age plus 6 will give me Ajoke's age, right? Yes. Now, the goal is to write, please pay attention. The goal is to find an expression for Chioma's present age. So if I want to get an expression for Chioma's present age, I'm going to take this 6 to the other side of the equation. I'm going to have A minus 6 equals to C. Do you understand? And C equals to A minus 6. Is that not it? Now, A is what? 31 minus X. So I'm going to have C, which is Chioma's age. C equals to 31 minus X, which is A, minus 6. Okay? So C, which is Chioma's age, equals to 31 minus 6 is what? That is 25. So I'm going to have 25 minus X. So the expression for Chioma's age is 25 minus X. Option A is correct. Do you understand? Okay, let us proceed to the next question. We are asked to simplify the square root of 200 minus the square root of 72. Simplify the square root of 200 minus the square root of 72. Now, please pay attention. This topic is coming from, this question is coming from a topic known as sword. If you see the square root of 200 can be written as what? Square root of 100 times 2. And the square root of 72 can be written as what? Square root of what? 36. Sorry. Square root of 36 times 2. Okay. Now, this can be written as square root of 100 multiplied by square root of 2. And square root of 36 times 2 can be written as square root of 36 multiplied by square root of 2. Okay, square root of 100 is 10. So I'm going to have 10 times root 2, right? Minus square root of 36 is what? 6. I'm going to have 6 times root 2. Do you understand? Okay, I'm going to have 10 root 2 minus 6 root 2. 10 root 2 minus 6 root 2 will give me what? 4 root 2, which is the final answer. You see, if you want to learn more on sword, I've dropped some class on this channel. Kindly check those classes and watch those classes till the very end, okay? So, because this topic do come out many, it came out 2024, you understand? So, make sure you are perfect in it. So, the correct option to that question is option B. Do you understand? Okay? Let us proceed to the next question. Simplify 2 whole number 1 over 3 plus 5 over 2 minus 1 all over 12 minus 11 whole number 3 over 4. Okay? To solve this question, we have to use board mass. But before that, we have to change the mixed fraction into improper fraction. Okay? So for this, let us change this mixed fraction into improper fraction. I'm going to have 2 times 3, the numerator now. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 1, 7. I'm going to have 7 all over 3, okay? Seven all over 3. 7 over 3, okay? Plus 5 over 2 minus 1, okay? All over 12 minus 11 times 4, that is 44. 44 plus 3, that is what? 47. I'm going to have 47 all over 4. Do you get it? Okay. Now, let us deal with the numerator. Please pay attention. We want to deal with the numerator. Now, take the LCM of the numerator. I'm going to have 3 times 2 times 1. That is what? 6. Okay. 6 divided by 3. What's the answer? That is 2. 2 times 7 is 14. Okay. 6 divided by 2. That is 3. 3 times 5 is what? Plus 15. Okay, 6 divided by 1 is 6. 6 times negative 1, that is what? Negative 6. Okay, divided by, now what is the LCM of 12 over 1 minus 47 over 4? The LCM is 4, okay, because 4 times 1 will give us 4. Okay, 4 divided by 1 is 4. 4 times 12 will give me 48. I'm going to have 48 here. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times negative 47. I'm going to have negative 47 here. Do you understand? Okay, now this is the numerator and this is the denominator. I'm very sure you get it to this point. Okay, what is the next step? The next step is to simply just add all the numerator together. 14, please pay attention. 14 plus 15, that is what? 29, right? 29 minus 6, that is what? 23. So I'm going to have 23 over 6 divided by 48 minus 47 is 1. 1 all over 4, right? Okay. Now, having gotten to this point, you have to change the division sign, which is here, to a multiplication sign. And if that will happen, I'm going to have the reverse of this fraction. So I'm going to have 23 all over 6 times 4 over 1. Okay. Do you understand it to this point? Okay. This, I'm going to have 2. I'm going to have 3. So I'm going to have 23 times 2 is what? 6. Oh, this is 4 over 1. 23 times 2 is 46. 46 all over 3. 46 divided by 3 is 15 whole number 1 over 3. This will be 15 whole number 1 over 3. Because 15 times 3 is what? 45. 45 plus 1 is what? 46. So do you understand? And if you look at the options that we have there, the correct option to that question is option B, which is 15 whole number 1 over 3. Do you understand? Okay, let us proceed to the next question. Given that x plus y equals to 1, the next question, given that x plus y equals to 1 and x plus 3y equals to 5, we are asked to find x squared plus 4xy plus 3y squared. Okay, how do we get this value from what we have been given? You can do this in 2 ways, but a more excellent way is that you have to factorize this. Okay, let us factorize this. If you are part of our previous class on factorization of quadratic equation, if you want to factorize this quadratic equation, you first have to take the product of this term and this term. The product of x squared and 3y squared is what? 3x squared y squared. Okay, and the second term in this quadratic equation is what? Plus 4xy. 4xy. Now you have to think of two numbers in such a way that if you take the product of that two numbers, you're going to have 3, and if you add them together, you're going to have 4. What are those two numbers? Can we use 2 and 2? Let us try. 2 times 2 will not give us 3, and 2 plus 2 will give us 4, so we cannot use it. Can we use 3 and 1? Let us check. 3 times 1 will give us 3, and 3 plus 1 will give us 4. Hence, the numbers that we need are x squared plus xy or 1xy. You can use xy or 1xy, any one that you desire. Okay, you see, let me tell you, WAEC will not test you across a single topic. I'm emphasizing on this. So if you discover that you are weak in an area, please check this channel. I've done quadratic equation using many methods. Okay, there are many questions that you're going to find on it. Check this channel and watch those class. Okay, now factorize, I'm going to have x squared plus xy plus 3xy plus 3y squared. Do you get to this point? Okay, what is common to this and this? Separate this into 2. What is common to this? I'm going to have x plus y plus 3 plus 3y x plus y. Okay, so having gotten to this point, we are going to have x plus 3y multiplied by what? X plus y. Okay, look at this. X plus 3y is 5. So I'm going to have 5 multiplied by x plus y is 1. Multiplied by 1, that is what? 5. So the answer to that question is 5. And the correct option is option B. Do you understand? Okay, let's proceed to the next question. Write 0.0364891 in 3 significant figures and express the answer in standard form. A, 3.65 times 10 raised to power 2. B, 3.64 times 10 raised to power 2. C, 3.64 times 10 raised to the power of negative 2. D, 3.65 times 10 raised to power negative 2. Okay, we are asked to write 0.0364891. Now, the question is, what do you mean by significant figure? Significant figure are those figures that affect another number when they are added or subtracted from it. Listen to me. For we to call a number or a figure significant figure, those figures must be able to affect another number when they are added or subtracted from that number. Do you understand? Okay, look at this. In this decimal number, the significant figure are 364891. You cannot call 0 a significant figure, and the reason is simple. If you add 0 to a number and if you subtract 0 from a number, you're not going to have any increment or decrease. You get it? So 0 cannot be regarded as a significant figure. So we need to approximate to 3 significant figures. That is, I'm going to count 4 numbers that is closer to the decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4 is closer. Now, because this 8 is greater than 5, are you getting it? I'm going to approximate it to 1 and add it to the next number. If you want to learn more on significant figure or approximation and estimation, check this channel, check the playlist on this channel, okay? So if you approximate this 8, you're going to have 1. 1 plus 4 will give us 5. So I'm going to have 0.0365. This one that I've done is called approximation. I've not written this in standard form. So the next question now is that we are asked to write this in standard form. To write this in standard form, you have to write it as a power of 10. So I'm going to take this decimal point to side and to the right hand side. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? If I'm taking the decimal point to the right hand side, this is the first time, this is the second time. I'm going to have 3.65 times 10 raised to the power of negative 2. The reason is because I'm moving the decimal points towards the right. If I'm moving the decimal point towards the left, the power of the 10 is not going to take a negative sign. Do you understand? So the correct answer is 3.65 times 10 raised to the power of negative 2. Let us check the correct option. That is option D. Okay? So let us proceed to the next question. The radius and height of a circular base cylinder are 8 cm and 14 cm respectively. Find its curved surface area. Okay? We are asked to take pi as 22/7. Now, please pay attention. This is a cylinder, okay? Please pay attention. This is a cylinder. You see this one that you see here is the top. This is the bottom. The curved surface area of the cylinder are these. These are the curved surface area. Are you getting what I'm trying to see? Now, the formula for the curved surface area of the cylinder is 2 pi RH. Please pay attention. The formula for the curved surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi RH. And from the question, we've been given that the base of the cylinder, the radius and the height. The radius is what? 8 cm. And the height of the cylinder is what? 14 cm. So we can easily calculate the curved surface area by substituting the radius and the height into the formula that I gave you. So the curved surface area, which is CSA, equals to 2 multiplied by pi, which is 22/7, times R. R is what? R is 8, and times H. H is what? H is 14. Okay? So let us proceed. The curved surface area, please pay attention. The curved surface area is equals to 7 here 1, 7 here 2. Okay? Now I'm going to have 2 times 22 is what? 44. 44 times, okay, 8 times 2 is 16. 44 times 16 will give us 704. So the curved surface area equals to 704 centimeter squared, okay, because the unit is centimeter. So the correct option to that question is option B. Okay, now let us check the next question. An interior angle of a regular polygon is 150 degrees. How many sides has the polygon? A 6, B 9, C 12, D 15. Okay, we are given that an interior angle. Please pay attention to that statement. An interior angle. An interior angle means a single one of the interior angle of this regular polygon is 150 degrees. So let us start. One of the interior angle is what? 150 degree. We are asked to find the numbers of sides. The numbers of sides that the polygon has. Okay, how do we get the numbers of sides from the information that we have been given? Well, you know that from polygon, the sum of the interior angles of a polygon is given by this formula. The sum of the interior angle of a regular polygon is given by this formula. The sum of the interior angle of the regular polygon is given by this formula, n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degree. Now, we have many types of polygon, okay, based on side. We have quadrilateral, we have triangle, we have, we have pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, decagon, nonagon, octagon, So, if you divide the sum of the interior, if you divide the numbers of sides, if you divide the sum of the interior angle of the polygon by the numbers of sides, you are going to get a single angle. Are you getting it? For example, look at triangle. A regular polygon is the type of polygon that has all its sides and its angle equal. Are you getting it? Look at triangle. Let's say that we are given that an interior angles of a triangle is 60. We are now asked to find the numbers of sides that the polygon has. A triangle, the sum of the interior angle of a triangle is what? 180 degree. 180 degree, listen to me. 180 degree divided by n must give us 60 degree. Do you know the reason? The reason is because this n that you see here is known as the numbers of sides. Okay, so when you divide the sum of the interior angle of a triangle by the numbers of sides that when you divide the sum of the interior angle of a polygon by the number of sides, you are going to have one interior angle. For example, 180 degree divided by n. The triangle has how many sides? 3. So 180 degree divided by n will give us 60. Are you guys what I'm trying to say? 180 divided by 3 will give us 60. You can see now. So the reason why I'm emphasizing on that is because to calculate this question, you have to make use of this sum of the interior angle. We don't know the sum of the interior angle indeed, but we can easily get the value of n by using this formula. The sum of the interior angle of a polygon, which is n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degree, all over n will be equivalent to one angle, which is what? 150 degree. 150 degree. Okay, so to get the value of n, all you have to do now is that just cross multiply. I'm going to have 180n minus 360 equals to 150n. Okay, don't forget the degree. Okay, put degree. Okay, collect right hand. I'm going to have 180n minus 150n equals to 360 degree. Okay, I just take this 360 to the other side and take this 150 degree n to the other side. So for this, I'm going to have 30 degree n is equals to 360 degree. Okay, the next step is that you have to divide both sides by what? 30 degree. So this over 30 degree and this over 30 degree. So n is equals to 12. Okay, so the numbers of sides that the polygon has is 12. So the correct option to that question is option C. Okay, so that is the solution to that question. Okay, let us proceed to the next question. Solve d squared minus 4d minus 96 equals to 0. Okay, A, d equals to 8, 12. B, d equals to negative 8, negative 12. C, d equals to negative 8, 12. D equals to 8, negative 12. Okay, we are asked to solve this quadratic equation. D squared minus 4d minus 96 equals to 0. Okay, you can solve this quadratic equation in 3 ways, but a more excellent way to solve this, because this is an objective question, is by factorization. Okay, factorizing method. So let's go. To factorize this quadratic equation, like to solve this quadratic equation using factorization method, The first step is that you have to take the product of the first term and the last term. That is what? Minus 96 times d. I'm going to have minus 96d squared, okay? And the second term is what? Minus 4d. Now, please pay attention. What is that two number that if we multiply it together, we're going to have minus 96d squared, and if we add it together, we're going to have minus 4d. You understand? You must be able to think of those two numbers. That is what? 8 and negative 12. Okay? 8 and negative 12. Let us try. Negative 8 times negative 12 will give us what? Minus 96, you know? And 8 minus 12 will give us what? Minus 4. Do you understand? So those two numbers are 8 and negative 12. So having gotten the two numbers, we have to replace, please pay attention. We have to replace, instead of having 4 here, we are going to replace those two numbers by this negative 4. So I'm going to have d squared minus 8 minus 12 multiplied by d minus 96 equals to 0. Do you know what I did? I replaced this negative 4 and 8 minus 12. Okay? So I'm going to have d squared. Okay, let me just put plus here. D squared plus d times 8 plus 8d, negative 12 times d minus 12d minus 96 equals to 0. Okay? Now factorize d into bracket d plus 8 minus 12 into bracket d plus 8 equals to 0. Okay? So because I have the same entity in these brackets, I'm going to have d minus 12 equals to 0 and d plus 8 equals to 0. So d equals to 12 or minus 8. The correct answer to that question is option C. Okay? If you want to learn more of quadratic equation, you can check the link to the video on this in the description of this video. Okay? Now, okay, let's proceed to the next question. The interior angles of a triangle are in the ratio 2:5:8. Find the difference between the smallest and the largest angle. Okay? The interior angles of a triangle are in the ratio is this 2:5:8. We are asked to find the difference between the smallest and the largest angle. To find the difference between the smallest and the largest angle, let us represent the degree of differences that exist between all these three angles by x. Do you understand? So the first angle will be 2 times x, and the second angle will be 5 times x, and the third angle will be what? 8 times x. So 2 times x is what? 2x. 5 times x is what? 5x. And 8 times x is what? 8x. So according to these laws of triangle, the sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So I'm going to have 2x plus 5x plus 8x equals to what? 180 degree. Okay? 2x plus 5x, that is 7x. 7x plus 8x is 15x. So I'm going to have 15x equals to 180 degree. To get the value of x, divide by 15. This over 15, this over 15. The value of x equals to that is 12. Okay? So x is 12 degree. Now we can calculate the individual angle. You know that this one is 2x. So 2x is what? 2 times 12. 2 times 12 is what? 24. So the first angle is 24 degree. While the second angle is what? 5 times x. So I'm going to have 5 multiplied by 12. 5 times 12 will give me what? That is 60. So the second angle is 60 degree. And the third angle, which is 8x, is what? 8 times 12. 8 times 12 will give us 96. So I'm going to have 96 degree in this place. So now the largest angle is 96 degree, while the smallest angle is 24 degree. The difference between them will be what? 96 degree minus 24 degree. That will give us 72. You understand? So the answer to that question is 72 degree, which means that option D is correct. Do you understand? Okay? Please pay attention. Okay? Now let's proceed to the next question. The interior angles of a hexagon are 107 degree, 2x, 150 degree, 95 degree, 2x minus 15 degree, and 123 degree. find the value of x. Okay, what is an hexagon? An hexagon is a polygon that has 6 sides. You understand what I'm saying? An hexagon is a polygon that has 6 sides and 6 angles. So now we are given the angles. The angles are what? 107 degrees, the first angle. The second angle that we're given there is 2x. The third is 150 degrees. The fourth is 95 degrees. The fifth is 2x minus 15 degrees. And the sixth angle that we are given is 123 degrees. Okay, now with respect to this information, how do we determine the value of x? Well, since we've been given that the interior angle are this, if we sum all these together, it must be equal to the sum of angles in an hexagon. Okay, so from this we need to calculate the sum of angles in a hexagon. Now, according to a formula in polygon, n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees is the formula that is used to calculate sum of angles in a polygon. Sum of angles in a polygon. Okay, this is the formula that we're going to use to calculate the sum of angles in a polygon. Now, because an hexagon is a polygon that has 7 sides and 7 angles, so n is the numbers of sides. So I'm going to have 7 minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees. Do you understand? Okay, so for this I'm going to have 5 times 180 degrees. Do you understand what I'm doing? You see, I cannot determine the value of x without knowing the sum of angles in the hexagon. So I want to calculate the sum of angles in the hexagon, and I told you that hexagon is a polygon that has 6 sides. This will be 6 and this should be 4. You understand? So n is the numbers of sides. So I'm going to have 6 minus 2, which is 4. 4 times 180 degrees will give 720 degrees. So the sum of angles will be what? 720. Do you understand? Okay, having gotten the sum of angles in this hexagon at 720, if I sum all this value, it must be equal to 720, because we are given that the interior angles of the hexagon are these. Okay, so for this I'm going to have 107 plus 2x plus 150 degree plus 95 degree plus 2x minus 15 degree plus 123 degree must be equals to 720 degree. That is sum of angles in the hexagon. Okay, now add all this together. I'm going to have 107 degree plus 150 degree plus 95 degree plus 123 degree. That will give us 475 degree. Okay, so for this I'm going to have 475 degree minus this 15 degree plus 2x plus 2x. That is what? 4x. So I'm going to have plus 4x equals to 720 degree. Okay, now subtract 475 degree plus subtract 15 degree from 475 degree. What will be the answer? 460 degrees. So I'm going to have 460 degree plus 4x equals to 720. 4x will be equals to 720 degree minus 460 degree. Okay, if you subtract 460 degree from 720, you're going to have 260. So for this I'm going to have 4x equals to 260 degree. To get the value of x, divide by 4. X is equals to 260 degree divided by 4. That is 65. Okay, so I'm going to have 65 degree. So the correct option to that question is option B, which is 65 degree. Do you understand? Two ball bearings have volumes 1.6 centimeter cube and 5.4 centimeter cube. Find the ratio of their surface area. Okay, please, I want to pay attention. We are given that two ball bearings. What is the shape of a ball? The shape of a ball is like a sphere. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So that means that what we are dealing with now is the volume of the sphere. So let me call the first volume V1. The first volume is 1.6 centimeter cube, and the second volume is 5.4 centimeter cube. Okay, with respect to the information that we are given, how can we determine the ratio of the surface area of these ball bearings? Well, to do that, don't forget that the volume of a sphere, listen, the volume of a sphere is this. Volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. So the first volume being 1.6, I'm going to have 1.6 is equals to 4 over 3 pi r. Okay, let me call the first volume r1. You understand? r1 raised to the power of 3. Okay. Now the second volume is what? 5.4 centimeter cube. So I'm going to have 5.4 equals to 4 over 3 pi r2 cube. Do you understand? Okay, the next step is that call this one equation 1 and call this one equation 2. So you have to divide equation 2 by equation 1. Okay, divide equation 2 by equation 1. So I'm going to have 5.4 divided by 1.6, okay, equals to, now 4 over 3 divided by 4 over 3. This will cancel each other. And this pi will also cancel this each other. So I'm going to have r2 raised to the power of 3 all over r1 raised to the power of 3. Do you understand? Okay, now 5.4, please pay attention. 5.4 divided by 1.6, that is 27 over 8. You understand? So this is 27 over 8, which is equivalent to r2 all over r1 raised to the power of 3. You know that because I have r2 to the power of 3 over r1 to the power of 3, I can rewrite it as r1 over, r2 all over r1 raised to the power of 3. Do you understand? Okay, now comparing this with this, I can raise, please pay attention, I can raise 27 to the power of 3. Like, I can raise 3 to the power of 3 to give me 27. So I'm going to have 27 can be written as, for this aspect, I'm going to have 3 raised to the power of 3 equals to, and 8 can be written as what? 2 raised to the power of 3, which is equals to r2 all over r1 all raised to the power of 3. If you compare, and this can be written as 3 over 2 equals to r2 all over r1 raised to the power of 3. If you compare both sides, you will discover that r2 is equals to 3. r2 is equals to 3, while r1 is equals to 2. r1 equals to 2. Please pay attention. Let me explain what I'm doing. We are asked to find the ratio of their surface area. Is that not it? Now, before we can find the ratio of their surface area, we are given that the volume of each of the ball bearing are 1.6 and 5.4 centimeter cube respectively. Is that not it? Now, the volume of a sphere, you know, a ball is just like a sphere. The volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 pi r cube. And we have been given that the first volume was 1.6. So I equate 1.6 as 4 over 3 pi r cube. Now, this r, I made it r1. You understand? Because what makes the volume different is the radius. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? It is the radius of the sphere that makes the volume to be different. So I make the second volume, I make the radius of the second volume, I make it r2. Then I divide the first volume, the second volume by the first volume. That's why I have 5.4 over 1.6, and that gives me 27 over 8. Do you understand? And by so doing, 4 over 3 will cancel 4 over 3. Why this pi will eliminate this pi? Are you getting it? So I'm left with what? r2 to the power of 3 all over r1 to the power of 3. Okay? So having done that, I can rewrite r2 to the power of 3 and over r1 to the power of 3 as r2 over r1 to the power of 3. Okay? And 27 can be written as 3 raised to the power of 3, because 3 to the power of 3 is 3 times 3 times 3. That is 27. Likewise, 2 raised to the power of 3 is equals to 8. Is that not it? So if you compare both sides, you will discover that the radius of the first volume is 3, while the radius of the second volume is 2. Do you understand? Okay, having gotten their radius, we can now determine their surface, the ratio of their surface area. Don't forget that the area of a sphere, you understand, the surface area of a sphere is what? 4 pi r squared. Are you getting it? This is the surface area of a sphere. Please pay attention. Okay, let the first surface area be A1, okay, and the second surface area be A2. Is that not it? So A1 is what? 4 pi r squared, the first radius, and A2 is what? 4 pi r squared, the second radius. Are you getting it? Now divide A1, divide A2 by A1. Please pay attention. Divide A2 by A1. I'm going to have A2 all over A1 is equals to, okay, 4 pi r to the power of 2 to the power of 2 all over 4 pi r to the power of 2. Just put the subscript. This subscript means the first radius belongs to the first area, and the second subscript, which is r2, belongs to the second area. Are you getting it? So this will eliminate this. So I'm left with what? A2 all over A1 is equals to r squared over r squared subscript 1. Now, don't forget that the radius, the second radius, which is r2, is what? 3. So I'm going to have A2 all over A1 is equals to 3 squared. R2 is what? 3. Okay, all over R1. R1 is what? 2. So I'm going to have 2 squared. Do you understand? Okay, so the ratio of their area, A2 over A1, is equals to 3 squared is 9, while 2 squared is 4. So therefore, the ratio of their surface area is 4:9 or 9:4. You understand? Okay, you can A1 ratio A2 will be 4:9. Do you understand? And you can also put it as A2 ratio A1 as 9:4. I get what I'm trying to say, but the correct option in that question is option A, which is 4:9. You can see that it's simple. All you have to do is just pay attention to the details and the parameters that you are given in the question. Okay, so if you come across this kind of question in the exam, please kindly pay attention. Okay, pay attention to the details that you are given. We've been given the volume. We are asked to calculate the ratio of the surface area. It is what you are given that you're going to use to get what you are asked to calculate. Okay, so pay attention to that. Now, let us proceed to the next question. Given that 21 base 5 equals to 14 base x, find the value of x. A 4, B 5, C 6, D 7. Okay, we are given that 21 base 5 equals to 14 base x. How do we get the value of x? Well, from the right hand side of this equation and the left hand side, change this to base 10. Like change this to denary. You know it is in base 5 before. In denary, it's going to be in base 10. So I'm going to have 2 times 5 raised to the power of 1 plus 1 times 5, plus 1 times 5 raised to the power of 0 equals to 1 times x raised to the power of 1 plus 4 times x raised to the power of 0. Do you know what I did? I just multiplied the number by the base. Are you getting it? And I put the power. Okay, if you want to learn more on binary number, you can change the playlist on this channel. Okay, so let us proceed. For this, I'm going to have 10 equals to 10 plus 1 times 5 raised to the power of 0. 5 raised to the power of 0 will give us 1. So I'm going to have 1 times 1, that is what? 1, equals to 1 times x is what? X. And then 4 times x raised to the power of 0. 4 times x raised to the power of 0 is 4, because x to the power of 0 will give us 1. Okay, so I have 11 equals to x plus 4. Well, the goal is to find the value of x. So I can take this plus 4 to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to have 11 minus 4 equals to x, right? Yes. 11 minus 4 is 7. 7 equals to x. And according to transposition, that is, if I change the position of this x, I'm going to have x equals to 7. Okay, so the correct option to that question is option D. Okay, that is the correct option. Now, let us proceed to the next question, which is question 22. Two consecutive odd integers are such that their sum, the sum of 5 times the smaller number and the 3 times the bigger integer is 222. Find the value of the smaller integer. Let me read the question again. Two consecutive odd integers are such that the sum of 5 times the smaller and 3 times the bigger integer is 222. Find the value of the smaller integer. Okay, please pay attention. Please pay attention. We are dealing with odd integer, right? Now, what's the meaning of consecutive integer? Consecutive integer are numbers that follows each other. They are odd numbers. Okay, consecutive odd numbers are odd numbers that follows after each other. For example, 1 and 3 are consecutive odd number because after 1 we have 3. 7 and 9 are consecutive odd number because after 7 we have 9. Are you getting it? Now we are given that two consecutive odd integers two consecutive odd integers. Integers are just like number. I get what I'm trying to say. So two consecutive odd integers. Please pay attention. If the first integer be x, if the first integer is x, what will be the second integer? The first integer. If this is the first integer, please pay attention. If this is the first integer, what will be the second integer? The second integer will be what? X plus 2. I will explain to you, don't worry. You see, the difference between two consecutive odd number is what? Is 2, right? Is that not it? For example, the difference, I told you that 1 and 3 are consecutive odd integer. Is that not it? Now, because after 1 is 3, if you take the difference between 3 and 1, you are going to have 2, right? Hence, if the first integer is 1, and the second integer will be what? 1 plus 2, which is 3. Is that not it? That means if the first integer is x, the second integer will be what? X plus 2, because they are consecutive. Okay? Now, having understand that, let us proceed to the question. These integers, they are such that the sum of the 5 times, okay, 5 times the smaller number. The smaller number is what? X. Are you getting it? The smaller number is x. So 5 times the smaller number, and 3 times the bigger number, and 3 times the bigger number. The bigger number is what? X plus 2. So 3 times x plus 2 is 222. You can see how I interpret the question. See, let me tell you, this question is coming from a topic known as word problem. So if you want to learn more of word problem, kindly check the playlist on this channel. There are many classes that I've already done that can actually help you. Okay, so you can see how I interpret the question. This is the second integer. The second integer. Okay, so if you can solve for the value of x, you can actually get the smaller integer. Let us proceed. For this, I'm going to have 5x plus 3x plus 6 equals to 222. Correct. Okay, 5x plus 3x, that is what? 8x. 8x equals to 222 minus 6, right? Yes. Okay, 8x is equals to 222 minus 6. That is what? 216. Okay, so I'm going to have 216 here. Now, having gotten to this point, the next step is to divide both sides by 8. So this divided by 8 and this divided by 8. X is equals to 27. Okay, hence the smallest integer, the first integer or the smaller integer is 27. Okay, because 27 is an odd number. That's correct. Now, if you want to get the second integer, just add 2 to 27. That is what? 29. But we are not looking for the second integer. We are looking for the smallest integer. The smallest integer among these two integer is what? Is 27. So the correct option to that question is option C. Do I make myself clear? Okay. Now let us proceed to the next question. Why Sabina and Owusu shared an amount of $12,000. Kwaye had 20% of the amount, and the remaining amount was shared between Sabina and Owusu in the ratio 5:3 respectively. How much did Sabina receive? Okay, please pay attention. Let us start with the first statement. The sum of $12,000 was shared between these people. Total amount of money that was shared is $12,000, right? Okay. Now the amount that the first person received, which is Kwaki, the amount that Kwaki received is what? 20% of the amount that was shared between the three of them. Do you understand? 20% of $12,000. Do you understand? 20% of $12,000. So now let us proceed. 20% of $12,000 is what? 20 all over 100 multiplied by 12,000. Do you understand? So this will cancel this and this will cancel this. Okay. Now what I'm left with is what? 20. Please pay attention. 20 multiplied by 120. That will give us 2,400. Okay. So the amount that, please pay attention, amount that Kwaki received is $2,400. Okay, the amount that Kwakwi received is $2,400. Now, please pay attention. This is not what we are asked to calculate, okay? But if I didn't proceed like this, we might find it difficult to get the amount that that Sabina received, okay? Now, if Kwakwi received 2,400, that means that the amount that was shared between Sabina and Owusu is the total amount of money minus the amount that Kwakwi received. Do you understand? So the amount left for Sabina and Owusu to share, the amount of money that was shared between Sabina and Owusu will be the difference between this and this. Okay, so the remaining money, let me put it. The remaining amount is $12,000. 12,000 minus 2,400. Okay, now 12,000 minus 2,400, that will give us 9,600. Okay, so the remaining amount is $9,600. Okay, so this is the amount of money that was shared between Sabina and Owusu. Now the goal is to determine the amount that Owusu received. Now don't forget that the ratio in which Sabina and Owusu share the money is what? 5:3. Sabina ratio Owusu is what? 5:3. Okay, let us take the sum of the ratio. The sum of the ratio is what? 5 plus 3. 5 plus 3 equals to 8. Okay, now this one that you see here belongs to Sabina and this one belongs to Owusu. So if I want to get the amount of money that was received by Sabina, I'm going to have the ratio that belongs to Sabina, which is 5 over the total ratio multiplied by the amount that was shared. Okay, these are just basic questions on ratio. If you want to learn more on ratio, kindly check the check the playlist on this channel. Okay, I've done ratio and proportion. Now let us proceed. The amount that Sabina received is 5 all over the total ratio multiplied by 9,600. Okay, so 5 over the total ratio, 5 over 8 multiplied by 9,600, that will give us $6,000. Okay, so the correct option to that question is option C. Do you understand? Okay, now let us proceed to the next question. We have the third and the ninth terms of an arithmetic progression are 9 and negative 27 respectively. Let's go. The third and the ninth term. The third term is what? 9. And the ninth term, which is still 9, is what? Negative 27. Okay, find the fifth term. We are asked to determine the fifth term. How do we determine the fifth term? Please pay attention. To get the fifth term can be expressed mathematically as T5 equals to A plus 4D. I hope you know, because the general formula for the nth term of an arithmetic progression is what? Tn equals to A plus n minus 1 multiplied by D. Do you know? So that means that when we have T5, when n is 5, I'm going to have T5 equals to A plus 5 minus 1 multiplied by D. Hence, T5 equals to A plus 5 minus 1 is 4. A plus 4D. That's why I got A plus 4D here. Now, if I want to write an expression for the third term, the third term will be what? T3. T3 equals to A plus 3 minus 1 multiplied by D. T3 equals to A plus what? 2D. Okay? So, that is the expression for the third term. And if I want to write the expression for the ninth term, I'm going to have the ninth term equals to A plus 9 minus 1 multiplied by D, because now n will becomes 9. Okay, so I'm going to have T9 equals to A plus 8D, because 9 minus 1 will give me 8. Okay, so this is the expression for the ninth term, and this is the expression for the third term, while this is the expression for the fifth term. Now looking at this, I cannot determine the fifth term without getting the value of the first term and the common difference. Hence, I will need to use what I was given. Okay, what is that? I was given that the third term is what? 9. So 9 equals to A plus 2D. Okay, because the third term is 9 here, I just replace the third term as 9. Are you getting it? So call this one equation 1, and from this T9, which is the ninth term, equals to negative 27. So negative 27 equals to A plus 8D. Okay, so we have two equations. Now, we can solve this equation easily using elimination method by subtracting equation 2 from equation 1. So, put a bracket, put the subtraction sign, okay, to help you to understand the concept. Put a subtraction sign here. Now, let us proceed. Please pay attention. 9 minus minus 27. 9 minus minus 27 equals to A minus A plus 2D minus 8D. Do you know what I did? 9 minus minus 27, I have it here. A minus A, I have it here. 2D or plus 2D minus plus 8. Okay, let me put it. Minus plus 8D. Minus plus 8D. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm subtracting the second equation from the first equation, okay? Now, pay attention. 9 minus minus 27, that is what? 9 plus 27. And 9 plus 27 is what? 36. So I'm going to have 36 equals to A minus A will give me 0, okay? So A have been eliminated, okay? Now, 2D minus, please pay attention. 2D minus plus 8D. Minus times plus is negative. So I'm going to have 2D minus 8D. That is what? Negative 6. So I'm going to have negative 6D, okay? To get the value of the D, which is the common difference, I'm going to have this over negative 6 and this over negative 6. So I'm going to have D is equals to, okay, let's write it beneath here. D equals to negative 6, okay? So having gotten the value of D as negative 6, I can easily get the value of A by substituting the value of D into any of these equations, okay? So let us make use of equation 1. Equation 1 is what? A plus A, and 9 equals to A plus 2D. So 9 equals to A plus 2 multiplied by D. D is what? Negative 6. So I'm going to have 2 multiplied by negative 6, okay? So I'm going to have 9 equals to A plus minus, A minus 12D, because plus 2 times negative 6, I'm going to have negative 12. So I'm going to have A minus 12, because D has become negative 6, okay? Please pay attention. To get the value of A, what do? Just take this negative 12 to the other side. So I'm going to have A, okay, 9 plus 12 equals to A. Is that not it? 9 plus 12 equals to A. So A equals to 9 plus 12 is what? That is 21, okay? So A equals to 21. Now, having gotten the value of A as 21 and D as negative 6, we can easily get the value of the fifth term. The fifth term is what? A plus 4D. So the fifth term equals to A, which is 21, plus 4D. Now, D is what? Negative 6. So I'm going to have negative 6 here. So the fifth term equals to 21 minus negative plus 4. Please pay attention. Plus 4 times negative 6. That is what? Negative 24. Negative 24. Okay. The fifth term is equals to 21 minus 24 is what? Negative 3. Okay. So the fifth term is negative 3. The correct option to that question is option C. That is minus 3. Do you understand? Okay, I'm very sure you understand how I solved the question. See, let me tell you, in math question, always pay attention to the details of the question. That is, the parameters that you are given in the question is very important, okay? Because that's what you are going to use to get the answer that you are looking for. Look here. When I was given T3 and T9, I wasn't given T5. Now, I discovered that if I want to get the fifth term, I need the value of A, and I need the value of A and D. So from what I was given, I calculate the value of A and D, then I substitute it into what I have here, A plus 4D. So I have 21 plus 4 multiplied by negative 6. Then I got the value of the fifth term as negative 3. Do you understand? Okay, so let us proceed to the next question. If 2 log 1 minus root x all over root x base x equals to 0, find the value of x. Okay, how do we get the value of x? Okay, If you are part of our previous class on logarithm, you will discover that if you have the log of a power, listen, the log of a base b raised to the power of c can be written as what? C log a base b. That is, the log of a power is the product of that power and the log. That is, this c will multiply the log. Are you getting it? Okay. Another law states that any number raised to the power of 0 is 1. Do you understand? Okay, that's the second law. Another law states that if you have y equals to x raised to the power of n in logarithmic y equals to x raised to the power of n in index form can be written in logarithmic form as log, please pay attention, log y base x equals to n. Do you understand? Okay, so based on these three laws, you can solve this question. With respect to this three law of logarithm, you can solve this question. Listen to me carefully. These laws that I wrote here are very important in solving this question. Are you getting it? So that's why I put it there. Now let us proceed. The first one that we're going to use is log of a power, because I have two log 1 minus root x over root x base x. These two can come up. You understand? These two that you see here can come up. So I'm going to have log 1 minus root x all over root x raised to the power of 2 equals to 0. Put the base. Do you get it? Because according to this law, the log of a power is the product of that power and the log. Are you getting it? The log of a power is the product of that power and the log. So I just reverse the case. So that is why I take these two to the top here. Now, according to another law, which is if you have y equals to x raised to the power of n, or log y base x equals to n in logarithmic form can be written in index form as this base will carry this power. That is what? X raised to the power of n, and we're going to equalize, we're going to equate it to what we have here. Do you understand? This base that you see here will carry this power, which is x raised to the power of n, and we're going to equate it to what we have in this place. That means that according to this law, I can say that x raised to the power of 0 will be equals to what I have here. Do you understand? Okay, so I'm going to have 1 minus root of x all over root of x raised to the power of 0. I mean, raised to the power of 2. Don't forget the power. Equals to x raised to the power of 0. Okay, x raised to the power of 0. Now, don't forget that according to this law again, x raised to the power of 0 will give us what? 1. So I'm going to have 1. Let us expand the left hand side. I'm going to have 1 minus root x all over root x multiplied by 1 minus root x all over root x equals to x raised to the power of 0 is what? 1. Do you understand? Okay. 1 minus root x times 1 minus root x. I'm going to have 1 minus root x multiplied by 1 minus root x all over root x times root x. Root x times root x will be equals to what? 1. Do you understand? Okay, having gotten to this point, let us take the product of the numerator. 1 times 1 is what? 1. 1 times negative root x, negative root x. Then negative root x times 1, that is what? Negative root x as well. Negative root x times negative root x, that is what? Positive x. Okay, all over root x times root x is what? X equals to what? 1. Do you understand? Okay, having gotten to this point, we can take the cross product. Cross product simply means cross multiplying. Okay, so I'm going to have 1 minus, listen to me carefully, minus root x minus root x, that is what? Minus 2 root x. Okay, plus x equals to what? Now x times 1 will give us what? X. So I'm left with this. Take this, please pay attention. Take this one to the right hand side and take this x to the left hand side. I'm going to have minus 2 root x plus x minus x equals to what? Now, if this 1 crosses the equals to sign, the positive sign is going to change to negative. So I'm going to have negative 1. Are you getting it? So please pay attention. Having gotten to this point, plus x minus x will eliminate each other. So I'm having minus, please pay attention, minus 2 root x equals to minus 1. the first step in solving for the value of x here is that you first have to divide both sides by -2. So for this, let me just do something here. For this, I'm going to have -2 root x equals to -1. The other goes by -2, this over -2, and this over -2. So root x equals to what? 1/2. Do you understand? The next step is that I have to square both sides. So I have to help me to eliminate the square root on the top of x. So this squared and this squared. I'm going to have x equals to 1/2 times 1/2. So x equals to what? 1/4, which is the solution to that question. Okay, let us check the correct option. The correct option to that question is option B. Okay, let us proceed to the next question. A cylinder and a cone have the same volume. If the height of the cone is 24 centimeters, find the height of the cylinder. Okay, please kindly pay attention. You are given that a cylinder and a cone have the same volume. The volume of a cylinder, is this. This is the formula to calculate the volume of the cylinder. That is pi r square h. Okay, and to calculate the volume of a cone, let me change this one. Okay, if you want to calculate the volume of a cone, we are going to make use of this formula: 1/3 pi r square h. Okay, now we are given that the height of the cone is 24 centimeters. So the height of the cone is 24 centimeters. Calculate the height of the cylinder. Now, before we can calculate the height of the cylinder, with respect to the information that we are given, since they have the same volume, we can set this equals to this. Are you getting it? Please pay attention. We can set the volume of the cylinder equals to the volume of the cone, because in the question we've been told that they have the same volume. So for this, I'm going to have volume of the cylinder, which is pi r square h equals to pi r square h all over 3, because 1/3 pi r square h is also the same thing as what? Pi r square h all over 3. Do you understand? Okay, now the height of the cone have been given as 24 centimeters. Don't forget that this one that you see here is for cone, while this one is for cylinder. Do you understand? Okay, now substitute the height as 24 centimeters. I'm going to have, divide this by this, pi is gone. The arc square h is equals to, now arc square as well, h is what? 24 centimeters. H is 24 centimeters, so I'm going to have 24 centimeters all over 3. Okay, now for this I'm going to have 3 r square h, because now I'm going to cross multiply. Do you understand? I'm going to take the cross product, because arc square h is also the same thing as what? Arc square h over 1. You understand? And because I have an equals to sign separating this and this, I can take the cross product. So I'm going to have 3 arc square h equals to 24 arc square. Okay, so this arc square can eliminate this arc square, so I'm left with what? 3h equals to 24. Abi, now please pay attention. The height that we have here is for the cylinder. Okay, and don't forget what we are looking for. We are asked to find the height of the cylinder. So in that case, I can divide both sides by 3. So I'm going to have 24 over 3, which will give me 6. Which will give me 8. You understand? So the height of the cylinder is 8 centimeters. Okay, the correct option to that question is option B, which is 8 centimeters. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. A variable p varies inversely as the square of q. If p equals to 5 when q equals to 6, find q when p equals to 1.8. Okay, p varies inversely as the square of q. This topic is coming, this question is coming from a topic known as variation. Okay, so I've done many classes on this particular topic, so if you missed the class, you can check the channel to learn more on variation. This one is inverse variation, okay, or indirect variation. Okay, so this variable P varies inversely as the square of Q. You can see. Now, Q, if P is 5, we are given that P equals to 5. When Q is 6 and when Q equals to 6. We are asked to find the value of Q. Find Q when P equals to 1.8. When P equals to 1.8, okay? Please pay attention. When we talk about variation, we are dealing with relationship between two or more quantities in which as one, for example, inverse variation, as one quantity increases, the other quantity decreases. You understand? But that means that the two quantities, they are not equal. Is that not it? Now, if they are not equal, if I want to change these variation signs to an equals to sign, that means that I must introduce a proportionality constant. Listen to me carefully. The goals of the proportionality constant is to tell the degree of differences that exist between the variables that we are dealing with. Do you understand? Okay, so that is, I'm going to have P equals to K over Q squared. Do you understand? Now P is 5, so I'm going to have 5 equals to K. You see, this K is the proportionality constant. The work of the proportionality constant is that it tells us how much P varies with respect to Q. Do you understand? That is the only reason and the only condition whereby this variation sign can be changed to equals to sign. If we cannot change it, if we didn't change it, we won't be able to solve the question. Okay, so P is 5, so I'm going to have 5 equals to K over Q squared. And now Q is 6, so I'm going to have over 6 squared. The goal now is to find the value of K. Okay, so K is equals to 5 multiplied by 36. Do you understand? Okay, 5 times 36, that is 180. So K equals to 180. Now, having gotten the value of K, we cannot get the value of Q when P is 1.8. All we have to do is that we have to substitute the value of P as 1.8 here and to get the value of Q squared. Just pay attention. You know that we have already gotten the value of K as what? 180. So in that case, if I replace the value of K as 180 here, I'm going to have P equals to 180 all over Q squared, right? Okay, now we are looking for the value of Q when P is 1.8. So I'm going to have 1.8, which is P, equals to 180 all over Q squared. Do you understand? Okay, now from this step, you have to take the cross product. Okay, so I'm going to have Q squared multiplied by 1.8 equals to 180. To get the value of Q squared, just divide both sides by 1.8. This over 1.8, this over 1.8. Okay, now please pay attention. 180 divided by 1.8, that is what? 100. Is that not it? So I'm going to have Q squared is equals to 100. Don't forget that we are not looking for Q squared. We are looking for Q. So to get the value of Q, you have to take the square root of both sides. Okay, so take the square root of Q squared to eliminate the square on the top of Q, and take the square root of 100. Hence, Q will be equals to 10, which is the final answer. Okay, the correct option to that question is option B is correct. That is Q equals to 10. Okay, so let us proceed to the next question. Factorize 3 minus 2x minus x squared. We have to factorize 3 minus 2x minus x squared. Okay, to factorize this quadratic equation, the first step is that you have to take the product of 3 and negative x squared. Okay, if you want to learn more on how to factorize quadratic equation, kindly check the playlist on this channel. Okay, now we have to take the product of 3 and negative x squared. So I'm going to have 3 times negative x squared, that is what? Negative 3x squared. Okay, now you have to think of two numbers, such that if you multiply this number together, you're going to have minus 3x squared, and if you add them together, you're going to have negative 2x. Are you getting it? So what are the numbers? Let's try. Minus 2x and minus x. Minus 2x plus minus x. Please pay attention. Minus 2x plus minus x. That is what? Minus 2x minus x. That is what? Minus 3x, right? And then minus 2x times minus x, that is what? 2x squared. So this cannot go. We cannot use this. Let us try another one. Minus 3x plus x. Minus 3x and x, or plus x. Minus 3x plus x will give us minus 2x. So it satisfies this condition. Let us check if the product of minus 3x and x will give us minus 3x squared. Minus 3x times x will give us minus 3x squared. So what we need is minus 3x and plus x. Do you understand? Now, having gotten those two numbers, you have to replace this term that you see here. You have to replace it by those two numbers. So I'm going to have 3 minus 3x plus x minus x squared. Do you understand? Okay? Please pay attention. What is common to separate the equation into two? Okay? What is common to 3 and 3x? 3 is common, so I'm going to factorize 3. 3 multiplied by 1 minus x, okay? Now, what is common to plus x and minus x squared? Plus x is common, so I'm going to have plus x, 1 minus x as well. Do you understand? Okay? Now, since we have the same content in both brackets, that is 1 minus x and 1 minus x, so I'm going to take 1 minus x, then you have to add the terms that is outside each bracket, that is 3 and plus x. I'm going to have 3 plus x, okay? So you can rewrite it as x plus 3, and then for the second one, we are going to have 1 minus x. Do you understand? So that is the factor. These are the, if you factorize the quadratic equation, you are going to have something like this. So the correct option to that question is option D is correct. Okay, option D is correct. Now let us proceed to the next question. Make R the subject of the formula in the relation. So how do we make R the subject of the formula in the relation that we are given? Please pay attention. From the right hand side of this of what we have on the board, let us take the LCM. The LCM is what? The product of T and R. So I'm going to have TR, okay? TR divided by T, that will be R. So I'm going to have multiplied by BR. Please pay attention. TR divided by T will give me R. R times B will give BR. Plus TR divided by R will give me T. T times C is what? CT. Do you understand? Okay? Put 1 over P here. The next step is that you have to take the cross product, okay? So I'm going to have 1 times TR, that is what? TR, okay, equals to P times BR plus CT, that is what? P multiplied by BR plus CT. Do you understand? Okay, just let's open the bracket. I'm going to have TR equals to BRP plus PCT. Do you understand? Okay, since the goal is to make R the subject of the formula, I'm going to take this BRP to the left hand side of the equation. So I'm going to have TR minus BRP equals to PCT. Do you understand? Okay, now you can see that we have TR here and we have negative BRP. The goal is to make R the subject of the formula. So I'm going to factorize R because R is common to both terms. Do you understand? Okay, factorizing, I'm going to have R T minus BP equals to PCT. Okay, the next step is to divide both sides by T minus BP. Okay, to help me to make R to stand alone. So I'm going to have this over T minus BP, then PCT all over T minus BP. Do you understand? Okay, so R will be equivalent to, R will be equals to PCT all over T minus BP. Do you understand? Okay, so that is the solution to that question. Let us check the correct option. The correct option is option A, that is PCT all over T minus PB or BP. Do you understand? Okay, so let us proceed to the next question. In triangle PQR, line QR is 2 centimeter. This line is 2 centimeter. This is the triangle that we're talking about. In triangle PQR, line QR is 2 centimeter. Angle PRQ is 60 degree. And angle PQR is 90 degree. Find line PR. This is the line that we are looking for. This line. Are you getting it? Okay. We have option A, 4 root 3 centimeter. Option B, 4 centimeter. Option C, 2 root 4 centimeter. Option D, 4 root 3 over 3 centimeter. Please kindly pay attention. How do we get the line PR? To get the line PR, we have to use a mnemonic device that we used to use in trigonometry. You know, in trigonometry, there is a concept known as in an attempt to help us to explain the relationship that exists between the 3 sides of a right angle triangle, we use this mnemonic device. Do you understand? Okay, please pay attention. So is what? Opposite over hypotenuse, you know, and car is what? Cosine, and that is adjacent over hypotenuse. While we have TOA as tangent, tan of an angle is equals to the opposite over adjacent. Now, among these 3 mnemonic devices, which one combines the adjacent and the hypotenuse? Because I told you in our previous class, if you are part of our class on trigonometry, you shouldn't find these to answer, because the side that faces the right angle triangle is hypotenuse side. Do you understand? And the side that the angles that we are considering face is the opposite side, you know, and the last side is the adjacent side. Okay, so this is the adjacent. Now we have been given that the adjacent is 2 centimeter. We are looking for the hypotenuse. What can we use that combines the adjacent and hypotenuse among what we have here? It is cosine. So I'm going to have the cos of the angle that we are looking for. The cos of the angle that we are given. The cos of the angle that we are considering. The angle that we are considering is what? 60 degrees. So the cos 60 degrees is equals to adjacent, which is A, over hypotenuse, which is H. So adjacent is what? 2. So I'm going to have 2 all over hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is unknown. So let us represent it with a letter, which is X. So all over X. Now, cos 60 degrees is 1 over 2 or 0.5. So I'm going to have 1 over 2 equals to 2 over X. If you take the cross product, you are going to have X times 1 equals to 2 times 2. 2 times 2 will give you 4. So the hypotenuse is 4 centimeter. Do you understand? Okay, that means that the correct option to that question is option B. That is 4 centimeter. Okay, now let us proceed to the next question. A sector of a circle of radius 21 centimeter subtends an angle of 120 degrees at the center. Find the length of the arc of the sector. Please pay attention. Kindly pay attention here. Let us draw the diagram. This is a circle. This is a circle. Now, we are told that the circle has a radius of 21 centimeters. So that means that any line that comes from the center of the circle to any part of the circumference is the radius of the circle. Okay, so if I draw a line that comes from here to this place, that is the radius. Okay, 21 centimeter. Do you understand? Now, because it is a sector, that means I'm going to have another radius that joins it from this place. So this one that you say, okay, just pay attention. If this one is 21 centimeter, this will also be what? 21 centimeter. Do you understand? 21 centimeter. Now, we are asked to find the length of the arc of the sector. The angle which this radius subtends is what? 120. So this angle is 120 degree. Okay? How do we calculate the length of the arc? This is what we are looking for. The length that we are looking for is this length. Let me call this length AB. Okay? What we are looking for is this. This is the length that we are looking for. So how do we calculate this length? Well, to get the length, we are going to use this formula. The length of AB is equals to, please pay attention, the length of the arc AB is equals to theta all over 360 degree multiplied by 2 pi r. Okay, theta is the angle that the sector subtends, you understand, and we've been given that the angle is what, 120 degrees. So I'm going to have 120 degree all over 360 degree multiplied by 2 times 22 over 7 times the radius. The radius has been given as 21 centimeters. So I'm going to have multiplied by 21. Do you understand? Okay, let us proceed. For this, I'm going to have now 120 degree over 360 degree. That is what? 1 over 3. 1 over 3 times 2 times 22 times, now this 7 here 3 times 3 as well. Do you understand? Okay, this 3 will eliminate this 3. Do you understand? Okay, 2 times 22 will give us 44 centimeters. So the right answer to that question, the correct option is option C is correct. Okay, that means this the length of the sector AB, the length of the arc, the length of the arc is 2 times 22. That is what? 44 centimeter. Do you understand? If you have any question, let me know. Okay, now let's proceed to the next question. The population of a town increases by 2% every year. After 2 years, the population is 83,232. Calculate correct to the nearest thousand the original population. Okay, please, I want you to pay attention. We don't know the original population, but we are given that the population increase at the rate of 2% every year. So let the original population be X. Okay, let the original population be X. Okay, now this is the initial population. Now after a year, the population increase. Okay, the first year the population increased by what? By 2%. So I'm going to have the population at the end of the first year, that will be X plus 2%. 2% of X, that is what? X plus 0.02x, because you know 2% is what? 2 over 100, and 2 over 100 is what? 0.02. Okay, so this is the population at the end of the first year. X plus 0.02x, that is what? 1.02x. Okay, now at the end of the second year, that will be the population at the end of the first year plus 2% increase. That is 1.02x plus 2% of 1.02. Do you understand? 1.02x. Please pay attention. It's simple. We are looking for the initial population, that is the original population of the town. Is that not it? Now I said let the original population be X. Now at the end of first year, the population increased by 2%. That means the population, which is X plus 2% of X, that is what? 1.02x. Now at the end of the second year, the population also increased by 2%. So that will be the initial population, which is at the end of the first year, that is 1.02x plus 2% of 1.02. Okay, so for this I'm going to have 1.02x plus 0.02 times what? 1.02x. Okay, please, do you understand what I'm doing? Okay, let us proceed. For this I'm going to have 1.02x plus 0.02 times 1.02, that is what? 0.0204. okay, 0.0204x. okay, now add this together, you're going to have if you had 1.02x plus 0.0204, you're going to have 1.04x. okay, now don't forget that from the question we've been given that the population after 2 years is what? 83,232. So the population after the second year is what? 83,232. That means the population after the second year, which is 1.04 1.0404. 1.0404x must be equivalent to 83,232. Okay, to get the value of x, which is the initial population, which is the original population, we are going to divide both sides by what? 1.0404. So this over 1.0404, this over 1.0404. Okay, so x will be equals to 83,232 divided by 1.0404. That is 80,000. So the population, the original population, which is x, is what? 80,000. The correct option to that question is option A. Do you understand? Okay, let us proceed to the next question. A profit of 8% was made when an article was sold for $500. At what price should it be sold to make a profit of 16%? Okay. Now, please pay attention. A profit of 8% was made when an article was sold for $500. So when the selling price is $500, the profit is what? The profit is 8%. Okay. Now we are asked to calculate the selling price. The selling price for the profits to be 16%. For the profits to be 16%. Now pay attention. You know that selling price is what? Selling price is equals to cost price plus profit. You understand? You see, before we can calculate the profit, the selling price that will give a profit of 16%, we have to first determine the cost price. You understand? And this is the relationship, one of the relationships that exists between the selling price and the cost price of a product is that selling price equals to the cost price plus profit. You understand? Okay? Now, pay attention. Selling price is what? 500, right? 500 equals to cost price plus profit. You see, profit can be expressed in terms of cost price. Profit can be expressed in terms of cost price because we've been given the profit percent. So I'm going to have profit equals to 8% of the cost price. Okay? Profit equals to 0.08 cost price. You understand? Because 8% is what? 8 over 100. 8 over 100 is what? 0.08. So here I can replace the profit as 0.08 CP. So I'm going to have 0.08 CP. Do you understand? Okay? Cost price plus 0.08 cost price. That is what? 1.08 CP equals to what? 500. To get the cost price, what do? You divide both sides by what? 1.08. So I'm going to have this over 1.08 and this over 1.08. Do you understand? Okay. If you punch your calculator, you are going to have 462.96. 462 cost price equals to 462.96. Don't forget the units. Dollar. Sorry. Don't forget to put the units. The unit is in dollar, okay? So if you approximate it, you are going to have $463. Do you understand? Okay, having gotten the cost price, we can now proceed to calculate the selling price that we allow the profit to be 16%. You understand? And to get that, you just have to use this relationship as well. Selling price equals to what? Cost price plus profit. Okay, selling price equals to cost price plus profit. Now for this, I'm going to have, let me just do it here. The selling price is equals to the cost price. The cost price is what? $463. $463 plus 0.16 now, because please pay attention. It's simple. Plus 0.16 multiplied by the cost price. The cost price is what? 463 multiplied by 463. Okay. If you didn't understand, listen to the explanation again. Before I can get the selling price that will make the profit to be 16%, I need the cost price. And from the information that we've been given, I got the cost price at what? $463. Now the selling price is equal to what? Cost price plus profit. The cost price is what? 463. That's why I have 463 here. And then the profit is what? The percentage that I was given multiplied by the cost price. You understand? 16% of the cost price is the profit now. Are you getting it? So 16% is 16 over 100. 16 over 100 is what? 0.16. And then the cost price that I calculate is 463. So that's why I have 463 at this place. Do you understand? Okay. So the selling price, let me change the marker. The selling price is equal to 463 plus 0.16 times 463. That is 174. Okay. Or 74 is here. 0.16 times 463, that is 74. So this will be 74 here. So the selling price is equal to 463 plus 74. That is 537. So yeah, I'm going to have 537. So the selling price is equal to, put the dollar, $537. Okay. Now the correct option to that question is option A. You understand? The reason why we didn't have the decimal point is because I've already approximate. Do you understand? We've already approximate. So the answer that is closer to that question, to that option, is option A. That is $537.04. Okay, that is the correct option. Now let us proceed to the next question. The set M equals to X such that, let me just write it. The set M equals to X such that X 2 is less than X, less than or equals to 6. Okay, 2 is less than or equals to X, X is less than or equals to 6. Okay, now, and another set N, please pay attention, let me just dictate. The set M equals to X such that 2 is less than X, less than or equals to 6. Oh, I forgot the inequality sign. X such that 2 is less than or equals to X, X less than or equals to 6, and N equals to X such that 4 is less than or equals to X, less than or equals to 8 are subsets of a universal set such that X1 is less than or equals to X, X is less than or equals to 10. Where X is an integer, find M prime intersect N prime. Okay, please pay attention. You have to learn how to interpret the subset and the universal set that you are given. It's simple. Okay, just pay attention. You are given that N equals to X, and X is such that 4 is less than or equals to X, and X is less than or equals to 8. Okay, now the universal set that you are given is what? X such that 1 is less than or equals to X, less than or equals to 10. Where X is an integer, we are asked to find M prime intersect N prime. Now pay attention. See, this one that you see here, we have to interpret all of them. Both M and N are subsets of this universal set. Do you understand? Let us proceed. Just pay attention, okay? 2 is less than, let us write for set M. The element that is going to be in the set M is what I want to find now. Are you there? Now 2 is less than or equals to X, X is less than or equals to 6. That means if I want to list the set of integers that falls in M, I'm going to have 2 is part, because this is what I have. 2 is less than or equals to X, so 2 is part, 3 is part, 4 is part, 5 is part, and 6 itself is part. Now for N, the elements that are in set N, that is 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now what of the universal set that we have here? The elements that are in the universal set, they include 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3 to 10. You understand? These are the elements that are in the universal set from 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Now we are asked to find m prime and n prime. M prime intersects n prime. This sign that you see here means intersection, okay? Now let us first determine m prime. M prime are the elements, the numbers that are in set M. The numbers that are in the universal set that are not present in set M. Please pay attention, it's simple. M prime, this sign that you see here means prime, you understand? M prime refers to the numbers that are in the universal set that are not in set M. You can see that 1 is in the universal set, but it's not present in this set. So 1 is part of M prime. 2 is in the universal set. It is also present in set M, so it is not part. 3 is in the universal set. It is also present in set M. It is not prime. It is not part of it. 4, 5, 6 is also not prime. It's also not part. 7 is part. 8 is part. 9 is part, and 10 is also part, because all these elements that I have here, they are not present here. Do you understand? Okay. Now let us look for the prime of n. N prime also means the elements that are in the universal set that is not present in set n. You understand? These are the set of values for n. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are the set of values for for n. Now the numbers that are present in this universal set that are not present in n is known as n prime. You understand? If you want to learn more on set theory, this topic is coming from a topic in mathematics known as set theory. If you want to learn more on set theory, check the playlist on this channel. Okay. Now, for this, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to include 4 because 4 is present. I'm not going to include 5 because 5 is present. I'm not going to include 6 because 6 is present. 7 and 8 is not going to be included because they are present in the set N. So I'm going to have 9 and 10. Okay, so M prime intersection N prime will now be the elements that are common to both sets. You understand what I'm saying? The elements that are common to both M prime and M prime will be the intersection of both. You can see that 1 is common in both. Put 1. 2 is not common. 3 is not common. 9 is common. Put 9. 10 is also common. So put 10. Hence, M intersection N prime is 1, 9, and 10. Let us check the correct option in that question. Option C is correct. That is 1, 9, and 10. Okay? Option C is the correct option to that question. If you have any question as regarding this, let me know in the comment section. Okay? So that is the solution to that question. Let us proceed to the next question. Given that sine x minus 46 degree equals to cos 62 degree, find the value of x. Okay, sine x minus 46 degree minus 46 sine x minus 46 degree equals to cos 62 degree. Find the value of x. So how do we get the value of x? There is an identity that exists between sine and cos of an angle. Please pay attention. There is an identity that exists between sine and cos of an angle where the angle is between 0 degree to 90 degree. The relationship is what? Sine x equals to cos 90 minus x. Do you understand? Or cos x equals to sine 90 minus x. This is one of the basic formula in trigonometry. Okay, for x is less than, please pay attention, for 0 is less than or equals to x, and x is less than or equals to 90 degree. This rules is this will satisfy under this condition. You understand? When 0 is less than or equals to x and x is less than or equals to 90 degree. Okay, now that means that I can rewrite cos 62 degree in this form. Cos 62 degree can be written as what? Sine 90 minus 62 degree. Do you understand? Okay, so cos 62 degree is equals to sine 90 minus 62. 90 minus 62 will give me 28. You understand? So here I'm going to have 28 degrees sine 28 degree. If you punch your calculator, cos 60 degree is indeed equivalent to sine 28 degree. So that means that I can replace cos 62 degree as sine 28 degree. So I'm going to have sine x minus 46 degree is equals to sine 28 degree, because now cos 62 degree is equals to sine 28 degree. So because this sign can cancel this sign, or just put it x minus 46 degree equals to 28 degree. Okay, x equals to 28 plus 46, because if you take the negative 46 to the other side of the equation, that is the right hand side, is going to change to positive. So 28 degree plus 46 degree, what's the answer? X is equals to 74 degree. Okay, 74 degree. The correct option to that question is option C. Okay, let us proceed to the next question. Given that log 16 base 4 equals to log 36 base y, find the value of y. A 3, B 4, C 6, D 8. We are given that log 16 base 4 equals to log 36 base y. Log 36 base y. We are asked to find the value of y. How can we get the value of y? Okay, you know that log 16 can be written as what? Log 4 raised to the power of 2 base 4, right? Equals to what? Log 36 base y. I'm very sure you are following. Now, according to a laws in logarithm, the log of a power is the product of that power and the log. Are you getting it? So, in that case, if I have log a raised to the power of b base c, this can be written as what? B log a base c. Okay, so I'm going to do the same for this. For this, I'm going to have 2 log 4 base 4, because according to this law, the log of a power is the product of that power and the log. Do you understand? Okay, equals to what? Log 36 base y. Are you following? Now, according to another law, if you log a number to the same base, you are going to have 1. You understand? The log of a number to the same base. For example, if I have log 10 base 10 is what? 1. Log y base y is what? 1. Log 4 base 4 is what? 1. So in that case, since I have log 4 base 4 here, I'm going to have 2 times 1 equals to what? Log 36 equals to log 36 base y. Do you understand? So log 36 base y equals to what? Equals to 2. According to another law, the logarithm, please pay attention, log y base 10 equals to x. This in logarithmic form can be written in index form as 10 raised to the power of x equals to y. 10 raised to the power of x equals to y. This is another law in logarithm. So if I want to rewrite this in index form, I'm going to have y raised to the power of 2, just like the previous example that we did earlier. Y raised to the power of 2 equals to 36. Okay, now what can we raise to the power of 2 to give us 36? Or you can easily take the square root of both sides. The square root of this, the square root of this, the square root of 6, to eliminate the square on the top of y. So I'm going to have y equals to 6. That is the correct solution to that question. Y equals to 6. So let's check the correct option. The correct option is option C, y equals to 6. Do you understand? Let's consider the diagram that we have on the board. In the diagram, angle PMQ equals to 34 degrees and angle NQM equals to 28 degrees. Use the information to answer questions 37 and 38. Question 37 is this. Find angle QTN. Okay, find angle QTN. This is the angle we are asked to find this angle QTN. QTN. Now, please pay attention. This topic is coming from, this question is coming from a topic known as circle geometry. Do you understand? And in circle geometry, there are theorems that guides. There are theorems. I get what I'm trying to say. One of the theorems is that angle in the same segment of the circle are equal. Are you getting it? So, according to that law, angle PNT is the same thing as angle PMT. Pay attention. I've started the solution now. I want to look for this angle. Okay? Now, angle PNT equals to angle PMT equals to 34 degrees. Why? Angle in the same segment of the circle are equal. So this angle is also what? 34 degrees. Do you understand? Because angle PMT is what? 34 degrees. That means that angle PMT is also what? 34 degrees. This angle that you see here is also 34 degrees. Now, having gotten that, we can easily get the value of angle QTN from triangle, please pay attention, from triangle QNT. From triangle QNT. Angle Q plus angle N plus T equals to 180 degrees. Sum of angles in a triangle. Let me draw out the triangle for you so as to help you to understand the concept. Okay, this is the triangle that I'm talking about. This triangle. This is the triangle that I'm talking about. 28 degrees, 34 degrees, and this is the angle that I'm looking for. This angle. So this is Q, this is N, and this is T. This triangle. This is the triangle that I'm talking about. Okay. So to get the value of this angle, let me just represent this as angle T. To get the angle, angle Q is what? 28. So I'm going to have 28 degrees plus angle N, which is 34 degrees, plus angle T. Let me just put it. Angle T equals to what? 180 degrees. Okay. 28 degrees plus 34 degrees. That is what? 62 degrees. So I'm going to have 62 degrees plus angle T equals to what? 180 degrees. Okay. Angle T is equals to 180 degrees minus 62 degrees. So what is the value? You can punch your calculator. 180 minus 62, you are going to have 118. Okay, so T equals to 118 degrees. So the value of this angle is 118. This angle that you say is 118. Okay, so we have gotten the first question. The second question is we are asked to find angle MPN. Find angle MPN. Find angle MPN. The correct option to that question is option D, because that is 118 degrees. Now we are looking for another angle known as angle MPN. Angle MPN. This is the angle that you are looking for now. Angle MPN. This angle that you see here is what you are looking for. To get the value of angle MPN, let us bring out triangle QPM from triangle QPM. Let me draw out the triangle. This is the triangle that I'm talking about. Triangle QPM. This triangle that you see here. This is the triangle that I'm talking about. QPM. This angle is 28 degrees. and this angle we don't know it. This angle is 34 degree. QPM. Okay, now please pay attention. If I know this angle, I can easily get this angle. Do you understand? Because I just have to subtract 180 from this angle to get this angle. Do you understand? Okay, to get this angle as well, what do we do? Let us represent as x. X plus 28 degree plus 34 degree equals to what? Equals to 180 degree. That is the sum of angles in a triangle. Okay, x equals to 180 degree minus 28 degree plus 34 degree. Is that not it? So x equals to 180 degree minus 62 degree. X is also the same thing as 118 degree. Okay, so this angle also is what? 118 degree. This angle that you see here is 118 degree. Now, please pay attention. To get the smallest angle here, I just have to subtract 118 degree from 180, and that will give me 62. So this angle is 62 degree. Okay. If you didn't understand, let me explain again. You see, in circle geometry, there are theorems that guide it, and one of the theorems is that the angles in the same segment of the circle are equal. This angle and this angle are equal. Why? Because they are an angle in the same segment. Now, to get the first angle that I'm looking for, angle QTN, I consider triangle QNT. Then I use the properties of triangle that says the sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degree. Then I got the value of angle as that angle is what? 118 degree. Now, having gotten the value of that angle as 118 degree, to get the value of angle MPN. Angle MPN is the smallest angle, but I cannot get this smallest angle without knowing this bigger the angle here. This angle that you see here, I cannot get this angle without knowing the value. So I first get the angle that is here using the sum of angles in the triangle by considering triangle QPM. Then I got the value of x as 118 degree. Now, to get this smallest angle, I just use the sum of angles on a straight line. You understand? Because QPN is a straight line. QPN, see, QPN is a straight line, and we have a line drawn like this. This is the angle that I'm looking for, and this angle is what? 118 degree. So to get this smallest angle here, I just have to subtract 180 degree minus 118 degree. That is what? 62 degree. Do you understand? So the smallest angle that is here is 62 degree. And you can do it in another way by using the exterior angle of a triangle. If you use the exterior properties of a triangle, this angle is exterior to triangle QPM. And exterior angles of a triangle is equals to the sum of the two opposite interior angles. So that means that this angle that is here that I'm looking for, the angle that is here is equals to the sum of this angle, 28 degree and 34 degree. That will also give us 62 degree. If you want to learn more on plane geometry, circle geometry, if you want to learn more on plane and circle geometry, you can check the playlist on this channel. Okay, so the solution to that question is 62 degree. The correct option is option A is correct. Do you understand? So that is one of the beauty of mathematics. You can solve it using any method. Okay, so since this is an objective question, I didn't expect you to spend a lot of time on it. Just use the method that is well suitable and then get your answer and proceed to the next question. Okay, now let us proceed. For what value of x is 3x plus 2 over 2x plus 1 undefined? Okay, for what value of x is 3x plus 2 all over 2x plus 1 undefined? Okay, I'm very sure, have you heard of undefined fraction before? Undefined fraction is a fraction that has its denominator as 0. You understand? If you, for example, if you have 1 over 0, you can try it. Punch 1 over 0 in your calculator. You're going to have syntax error or math error. That means that it is undefined. So What value of x will make the denominator of this fraction to be 0? That is what the question is asking you to do. So to get the value of x that will make the denominator equals to 0, just take this denominator and set it equals to 0. So for this, I'm going to have 2x, which is the denominator, 2x plus 1 equals to 0. What is the value of x? 2x equals to what? Minus 1. Okay? Divide this by 2, this over 2, this over 2. X equals to what? Minus 1 over 2. So the value of x that will make the denominator equals to 0 is minus 1 over 2. And if this denominator equals to 0, that means the fraction is undefined. Hence, the correct answer to that question is option B. Okay? That is negative 1 over 2. That is the value of x that will make the fraction undefined. Okay? Let us proceed to the next question. Let's consider the diagram that we have on the board. In the diagram, P, Q, R, and S are points on the circle with center O. Angle QRS equals to 5x degree, and angle QOS equals to 6x plus 24 degree. Find angle QPS. This is the angle that we are looking for, angle QPS, this angle. Now, please pay attention. I told you that this question is also coming from circle theorem, circle geometry. And there are theorems that guide this topic, okay? So, one of the theorems is that angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference, okay? Pay attention, it's simple. There are theorems that guide this topic. One of the theorems is that angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference, okay? That means that angle at the circumference will be equals to half of angle at the center, okay? Listen to me. Angle at the center, okay, let me write it in full. Angle at the center is equals to 2 times the angle at the circumference, okay? Circumference, let me write it very well. Circumference. So that means that angle at the circumference, if I divide it by 2, so angle at the circumference is equals to half of the angle that is present at the center. Angle at the center over 2. That will give me the angle at the circumference. Why am I emphasizing on this? The reason is because we are going to use it to solve this question. Okay? Let me represent this angle as P. Do you understand? So from this theorem, angle P equals to half of the angle at the circumference. Now listen to me carefully. Angle P is half of this angle. Are you getting it? And this angle that you see here is what? 6x plus 24. Do you understand? So that means that if I want to get angle P is what? 2x and 6x plus 24 over 2. 6x plus 24 over 2. And that will be what? 3x plus 12. That is angle P. Do you understand? Okay? But we are not looking for expression. We are looking for the angle itself. So how do we get the angle? Another law in circle geometry is that the opposite angle, this angle that you see here, the opposite angle in a cyclic quadrilateral, they are sum up to what? 180 degree. That is, this angle is opposite to this angle. So if I add this angle and this angle together, they must be sum up to 180 degree. That is one of the theorem in circle geometry. So since I know that this angle is what? 3x plus 12, and this angle is 5x. So I can say 5x plus 3x plus 12 is equals to 180 degree. The law that guides this is that opposite angle in a cyclic quadrilateral are sum up to 180 degrees. So 5x plus 3x. Do you know the reason why I make use of this? The reason is simply because I need to get the value of x if I want to get the angle P. You understand? Because the expression for angle P is what? 3x plus 12. If I know the value of x, I can easily substitute the value of x into this to get the value of this angle that I'm looking for. Do you understand? So to get the value of x, I use another theorem, which is opposite angle in a cyclic quadrilateral are sum up to 180 degrees. So 5x, which is this angle, which is opposite to this, 3x plus 12 must be sum up to 180 degrees. 5x plus 3x, that is what? 8x. So I'm going to have 8x equals to, 8x plus 12, okay, equals to what? 180 degree. 8x equals to what? 180 degree minus 12 degree. 8x equals to 158 degree. Okay, to get the value of x, divide it by 8. X is equals to 158 degree divided by 8. That will give us 21, right? Okay, so the value of x is 21. So having gotten the value of x as 21, you can easily substitute the value of x as 21 into this to get angle P. So angle P equals to 3x plus 12. Okay, angle P equals to 3 multiplied by 21 plus 12. So angle P is equals to 3 times 21 is 63. 63 plus 12, okay, plus 12 degree. Put degree, okay. So the value of angle P is 63 plus 12 degree is what? 75 degrees. So the correct option to that question is option A, 75 degree. 75 degree is the correct option, okay. Do you understand how I got the answer? And there are many ways to solve it, okay, using circle theorem. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Another way to solve it is that, but that one is long, okay. And since this is an objective question, just solve it with the simplest one and then get your answer. So the final answer is 75 degree. Do you understand? If you want to learn more of circle geometry, you can check the playlist on this channel. Now, we are done with that question. That is option A is correct. Okay. Question 41 is also on circle geometry. So permit me to draw the diagram on the board before we proceed to solve. Okay. Okay. Consider the diagram that we have on the board. In the diagram, Q, R, S, and T are points on the circle with center O. Angle STR equals to 37 degree. And angle QRT equals to 59 degree. Find angle SPR. Angle SPR. This is the angle that I'm looking for. Angle SPR. How do we get this angle? Okay. This question is also coming from a topic known as circle geometry. So there is another theorem that we're going to use here. And one of the theorems states that angle in the same segment of the circle are equal. So if this is 59 degree, this will also be what? 59 degree. Okay. If this is 37 degree, this will also be what? 37 degree. Do you understand? Okay, because angle in the same segment are equal. Now, to get the value of P, you can do it in two ways. You can calculate the value of angle P in two ways. The first method is that you get the angle that is here and you subtract 180 degree from it to get angle P. Let us go. This is, let me draw out the diagram, the triangle. From triangle OQR, this angle is what? 37 degree, and this is what? 59 degree. Now I need this angle because this angle that I have is this angle. If I know this angle, I can easily get the value of P. So to get this angle, let me represent as x. X plus 37 degree plus 59 degree equals to 180 degree. Sum of angles in a triangle. Okay. So x equals to 180 degree minus 37 degree plus 59 degree. Okay. X equals to 37 degree plus 59 degree. That will give us 96. Okay. 180 minus 96. 180 degree minus 96. So x is equals to If you take the difference between 180 and 96, you are going to have 84. So here I'm going to have 84 degrees. So the value of angle here is 84. Now, because the value of angle here is 84, I can use, you know that QOS is a straight line. QOS is a straight line. And we have a line that comes like this. This angle is 84 degrees. So if I want to get this angle, what do? I will subtract 180 from 84 degrees. I will subtract 84 degrees from 180 degrees. That is sum of angles in a straight line. So for this, I'm going to have, let me represent it also as angle Y. So Y plus 84 degrees equals to 180 degrees. Sum of angles on a straight line, okay? So Y equals to 180 degrees minus 84 degrees. Y equals to what? 96 degrees, okay? So the value of the angle that we are looking for, which is this angle, angle P. Let's represent as what we are given in the question, P. Because we are given that they have given us that this angle is angle P. So don't let us use another variable, okay? So angle P equals to 96 degrees. Now that is the first method. The method that we finished now is the first method. You can do this using another method, okay? The second method is this. Just bring out the triangle QOR. The triangle QOR. This is O, this is Q, and this is R. This is 37 degrees, and this is what? 59 degrees. Don't forget, this is the angle that you're looking for, angle P. This is the angle that you're looking for. Now, we don't know this angle. There is a law in plane geometry that the exterior angles of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two opposite interior angles. Okay? This is the exterior angle of this triangle QOR. This is the exterior angle. Angle P is the exterior angle. So to get angle P equals to 37 degrees plus 59 degrees. If you sum this together, you're going to have P equals to 96 degrees. You can see that it still gives us the same answer, okay? But since this is an objective question, you can easily use the sum of the exterior properties of a triangle. The exterior angles of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two opposite interior angles. You see, these are the interior angles of the triangle. 37 degrees and 59 degrees are the interior angle. The opposite interior angle, that is these two angles are opposite to angle P. So if I sum this together, it will give me this. And you can see that we have 96, which is also the same angle, which is also the same answer that we have when we use the first method. So that is another method of solving the question. The correct option to that question is option B, 96 degrees, okay? Now let us proceed to the next question. John sold an article for 105,000 at loss of 4%. Find the cost price of the article. A, 100,800 naira, 105,400 naira, 109,200 naira, 109,375 naira. Those are the options that were given. Okay, please pay attention. You can solve this using two methods, okay? And the first method is this. You can use, since we're given that loss is what? Loss is 4%, okay? And the selling price is what? The selling price is 105,000 naira. 105,000 naira. Okay? We are asked to calculate the cost price of the article. You can use the formula of loss percent to calculate this. Because loss, please pay attention. Loss percent is equals to cost price minus selling price all over cost price multiplied by 100. You understand? Okay, the loss percent is what? Is 4. So 4 equals to cost price. The selling price is what? 105,000. So I'm going to have 105,000 all over the cost price multiplied by 100. Okay, let's use the first step divide both sides by 100. This over 100 and this over 100. So I'm going to have this, we cancel this. So I'm going to have 4 divided by 100 is what? 0.04. 0.04 equals to what? Cost price minus 105,000 all over the cost price. Okay. The next step is that you have to take the cross product. So I'm going to have this over 1. So I'm going to have 0.04, that is this times this. 0.04 CP equals to what? CP minus 105,000. Okay. The next step is that you have to collect like terms. So I'm going to have 0.04 CP minus CP equals to minus 105,000. Do you understand? Okay. Subtract 0.04 CP minus CP. That will give us negative 0.96 CP. Negative 0.96 CP equals to what? Minus 105,000. Okay. To get the cost price, divide both sides by negative 0.96. So I'm going to have this over negative 0.96 and this over negative 0.96. Okay. So the cost price, which is CP, the cost price is equals to negative 105,000 negative 105,000 divided by negative 0.96, that is 109,375. 109,375. Okay. Don't forget to put naira. Okay. So the correct option to that question is option D, that is 109,375 naira. Now you can use another method. The second method that I want to teach you is this: loss is equals to cost price minus selling price. So if I want to make the selling price the subject of the formula, I'm going to have loss minus cost price equals to what? Minus selling price. Is that not it? Divide all through by negative 1. This over negative 1. This over negative 1. This is what I mean. I want to make the selling price the subject of the formula. Okay. And if you are confused, let me do it again. You can use any of the two methods to get the cost price. Okay. And the second method is what I want to teach you. So now, to make the selling price the subject of the formula, take this selling price to this side and bring this loss to this side. If this selling price is coming to this side, the sign is negative before, so it's going to change to positive sign. So I'm going to have selling price equals to now cost price. Now if this loss crosses the equals to sign to the right hand side of the equation, is going to become negative minus loss. Okay, do you understand? Okay, now we've been given that the loss percent is what? Second method, the loss percent is what? 4%. So the loss is equals to 4% of the cost price. Okay, so 4% is what? 4 over 100. 4 over 100 of the cost price. So equals to 4 over 100 is what? 0.04 CP. So the loss is what? 0.04 CP. So CP minus, instead of loss here, I'm going to replace that 0.04. 0.04 CP. Now the selling price has been given as what? 105,000 naira. So I'm going to have 105,000 naira at the left hand side. Okay. Now please pay attention. CP minus 0.04 CP. What will be the answer? That is what? 0.96. I'm going to have 0.96 CP equals to 105,000 naira. Okay. Divide both by 0.96. This was 0.96 and this over 0.96. Do you understand? So the cost price is equals to 109,000 naira 375, which gives us the same answer as we have here when we use the loss percent formula. Okay, so you can use any of the method. Okay, let's consider the diagram that we have on the board. In the diagram, line SR is parallel to line UW and angle WVT equals to X. Angle WVUT equals to y, and angle RST equals to 45 degree, and angle VTU equals to 20 degree. We are asked to use this information to answer the questions 43 and 44. You know, this topic, please pay attention. The summary of the question is that from the diagram that you are given, you are asked to calculate angle X and angle Y. Okay? For a more clarity, let me rewrite listen to the question again. In the diagram, line SR is parallel to line UW. Angle WVT equals to X, and angle VUT equals to Y. Angle RST equals to 45 degree, and angle VTU equals to 20 degree. Use this information to answer question 43 and 44. Okay, let's start with question 43. Find the angle marked X. 43. You are asked to calculate angle X. Find angle X. Now, this is the angle that we are asked to find. In plane geometry, there are some rules that guide the topics. And one of the rules is that corresponding angles are equal. You understand? So, which angle is corresponding to X in the diagram that we are given on the board? The angle that is corresponding to X is angle S. You understand? Angle S is equals to angle X. Why? The reason is because corresponding angle, please pay attention, corresponding angles are equal. Do you understand? So that means if angle S is 45 degree, that means the value of X, the value of this angle X, the value of angle X will also be what? 45 degree. Okay, now having gotten the value of X as 45 degree, let us proceed to get the value of angle Y. That is question 44. Calculate the value of angle Y. Okay, this is the angle that we are looking for now. We have gotten the value of X as the value of angle X as 45 degrees. So let me replace it. X is 45 degree. So how do we calculate the value of angle Y? Please kindly pay attention. To get the value of this angle, you can use two methods. The first method is this. Just get the angle that is here. If this is 45 degree, what will be the angle that is here? Because this angle and this angle, which is 45 degree, lies on a straight line. If this angle is, maybe let's represent as Z. Z plus 45 degree must be equivalent to what? 180 degree. That is, Z plus 45 must be equal to what? 180 degree. The reason is because sum of angles on a straight line is what? 180 degrees. So that means if I want to get the value of Z, I just have to subtract 180 from, 45 degree from 180 degree. You understand? And the answer will be 135 degree. 135 degree. So the angle that is here is 135 degree. Okay. Now, having gotten the value of Z as 135 degree, you can get the value of Y by using sum of angles in a triangle. Okay. From triangle UVT. Angle U plus angle Z plus 20 degree, let me represent as T, must be equals to 180 degree. Sum of angles in a triangle. Angle U is Y plus 135 plus T, which is 20 degree, must be equals to 180 degree. Okay, so Y equals to 180 degree minus 135 plus 20. That is what? That is 155. So 180 degree minus 155. You can see. You can punch your calculator. So Y will be equivalent. Please pay attention. So Y will be equals to So y will be equals to 25 degree. Okay, so the angle y that you see here is 25 degree. Another way to solve this question is to use the exterior properties of a triangle. You understand? If I want to draw angle triangle UVT, this is the triangle UVT. I want to teach you the second method, triangle UVT. This is U, this is V, and this is T. Don't forget that this side is extends. It extends to W, you know. It extends to W. So this angle is what? 45 degree. Now, this angle that you see here is exterior to this angle and this angle. And in plane geometry, the exterior angle of a triangle is equals to the sum of the two opposite interior angles. You understand? So this angle that you see here is equals to the sum of this angle and this angle. And since this angle is y and this angle is what? 20 degree. That means that this angle, which is 45 degree equals to y plus 20 degree. So according to that law, is that the exterior angle of a triangle is equals to the sum of the two opposite interior angle. The two opposite interior angle is y and 20 degree. These angles are opposite to exterior angle 45 degree. So 45 degree equals to the sum of y and 20. So if I want to make y the subject formula, I'm going to have y equals to 45 degree minus 20 degree. That is y equals to what? 25 degree. Okay, you can see that we result into the same answer. So the correct option to that question is option B. Option B is correct. Okay, so that is the solution to that question. Now let's proceed to the next question. What is the gradient of the line 7x minus 5y plus 3 equals to 0? What is the gradient of the line 7x minus 5y plus 3 equals to 0? What is the gradient? Okay, now before you can determine the gradient of this line, you will have to write this equation in slope intercept form. Listen to the explanation again. Before you can determine the gradient of this line, you have to write this equation in slope intercept form. So, you know, in slope intercept form, this is how the equation will look like. Y equals to mx plus c, where m is the gradient and gradient is also the same thing as slope. M is the gradient, the coefficient of x is the gradient, and c is the intercept. Okay, even though we are not interested in the intercept. So let us write this equation in this form. I'm going to have minus 5y equals to minus 7x minus 3, because this negative 7x will cross the equals to sign is going to change to negative, and 3 plus 3 will cross the equals to sign is going to change to negative 3. So divide this by negative 5, this over negative 5, this over negative 5, and this over negative 5. I'm going to have y equals to 7x all over 5 plus 3 over 5. Okay, so if you compare this with this, if you compare this equation with this equation, you will determine that the coefficient of x is the gradient, and the coefficient of x is what? 7 over 5. So the gradient of this line is 7 over 5. M equals to 7 over 5. So the correct option to that question is option A. Option A is correct. Okay, so let us proceed to the next question. Okay, consider the Venn diagram on the board. This is the Venn diagram. P represents pharmacist, that is, this circle that you see here represents pharmacist, and C represents smart people, and F represents my friends. Now, based on what we have on the board, which of the following is a valid conclusion from this diagram? Option A, all pharmacists are my friends. Option B, some of my friends are smart. Option C, all smart people are my friends. Option D, none of my friends is smart. Please pay attention. See, let me tell you. Look at this Venn diagram. C is this, P belongs to this, and F belongs to this. Look at the first option. All pharmacists are my friends. Now, this is the circle that belongs to friends, and this is the circle that belongs to pharmacists. if all pharmacists are my friends, that means that the circle of friends is supposed to be like this. Are you getting it? That is, if all pharmacists are your friends, are my friends, the circle that belongs to the pharmacist supposed to, the circles that belong to the friends supposed to be enclosed. It's supposed to enclose the circle that belongs to the pharmacist. You understand? So this is not valid. The first statement is not valid. Are you getting it? The second statement, some of my friends are smart. Some of my friends are smart. Let us check. This belongs to friends. This circle belongs to friends, and this circle belongs to smart people. Abi? So because this circle that is for friends intercept with the circle that is for smart people, that means that some of the friends are indeed smart. Do you understand? Some of my friends are smart because they have an intersection. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So option B is valid. Are you getting it? Let us check option C. Option C, all smart people are my friends. All smart people are my friends. Don't forget that C is for smart people, right? C, the circle that belongs to C represents smart people. If all smart people are your friends, you're supposed to have something like this. Are you getting it? You're supposed to have something like this circle is supposed to be like this, where this is F and this is C. That is, the circle for friends supposed to encircle. It's supposed to enclose the circle which belongs to my friends. You understand? So if all smart people are your friends, that means that your friends supposed to, if all smart people are my friends, that means that the circle of my friends supposed to encircle the smart people. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So that is, this one supposed to be a subset of this one. Are you getting it? You see, you have to understand how to interpret Venn diagram. Okay, this one is just based on interpretation. Okay, and if you check the option, okay, let's go for option D also. None of my friends is smart. That is not correct as well, because the circle that belongs to friends intercept with the circle that belongs to smart people. So that means that some of the friends are smart. So you can see that option B is the correct option. Do you understand? If you didn't understand, listen to the explanation again. We are given this diagram, and we are told that C represents my friend, C represents smart people, F represents my friend, and P represents pharmacist. Now, based on what we have on the board, based on this diagram, which of the options is the valid conclusion? The first option says all pharmacists are my friends. And I told you that if all pharmacists are your friends, that means that pharmacy is supposed to be a subset of friends. That means that the Venn diagram is supposed to be drawn like this. You understand? And for the second option, some of my friends are smart. Some of my friends are smart means that it's not all my friends that are smart, but some of them are smart. That means that a portion of this the circle that belongs to friend must intersect with a part of the circle that belongs to smart people, and you can see that it is because the circle for smart people is this, and it comes here, and the circle for friend is here. You understand? So that is the correct option. And all smart people are my friend is not valid. None of my friend is smart is not valid. Do you understand the solution to that question? The question is solely based on interpretation. So if you are able to interpret the question well, you will discover that the right option is option B. Do you understand? Okay, let us proceed to the next question. Okay, let's consider the table that we have on the board. The table shows the ages of students in a class. Use the information to answer questions 47 and 48. Okay? Question 47, we are asked to find, correct to the nearest whole number, the average age of the students. Okay? What's the meaning of average? Average means the mean. You understand? So, since we want to calculate the mean age of the students, mean is given by this formula. Summation fx, mean is equals to summation fx all over summation f. You understand? So that means that we need to take the product of f and x. F is the frequency, and the frequency in this case is this. This is the frequency, and the ages are the x. Do you understand? Okay, let us take the product of each frequency. fx is 13 times 3. 13 times 3 is 39. So for this, I'm going to have 39 here. Then for the next one, 14 times 14, that will be what? 196. 196. Then 15 times 13, that will be what? 195. Okay. 16 times 8 is what? 128. 128. Then 17 times 3 is 51. So I have 51 here. Now, I need the summation of all these. So I'm going to have the mean will be equals to 39 plus 196 plus 195 plus 128 plus 51. That is 609. 609 all over summation f. Don't forget that f is the numbers of students. So I have to add 3 plus 14 plus 13 plus 8 plus 3. That is what? 41. So the mean, which is x bar, the mean is equals to 609 divided by 41. That is 14.8. So I have 14.8 here. But the question says we should correct. We should correct to the nearest whole number. So the mean is 15. X bar equals to 15. That is question 47. Okay. Now let us proceed to question 48. Question 48, you are asked to calculate the median age. 47 is 48. We are asked to calculate the median age. How do you get the median age of frequency distribution? To get the median age, please pay attention. If you want to get the median age, the first step is that you have to find the sum of all the frequency. If you sum all the frequency together, you are going to have 51, Abby, 41, sorry. The frequency, that is total numbers of students. The total numbers of students. Total numbers of students. That is what? 51, right? 41, sorry. 41. Okay. Now 41 is an is an odd number, but don't worry. Then the next step is that you have to divide the total numbers by 2. You understand? The sum of the frequency, summation f over 2. That is what? 41 over 2. 41 over 2 is what? 20.5. Okay? Now, having gotten this, then go back to, please pay attention. Go back to your table. Sum the frequency from the left hand side. And the point whereby your sum is greater than or equals to 20.5, the age that belongs to that point is known as the median age. Please listen to the explanation again. It's simple. We want to get the median age of this data or frequency distribution table. Now, to get the median age, the first step is that you have to sum all the frequency together. And the frequency is the numbers of students. So we had all the students together. We got 41. Then the next step is that you divide the sum of the frequency by 2. 41 divided by 2 is what? 20.5, right? Now, having divided the sum of the frequency by 2, we got 20.5. So you are going to go back to your frequency. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Then you begin to sum from the left hand side. The point whereby the summation is equivalent to what you have here. The age is the median age. Do you understand? Okay, let us try. This is what we got when we divide the frequency by 2, right? That is 20.5. So we begin to solve. 2 plus 3 plus 14, that is what? 17, right? 17. 17 plus 13, that is 30. You can see that 17 is less than 20.5, but 17 is less than 20.5, but 30 is greater than 20.5. Hence, the median age is what? 15. Do you understand? Because this is the age which belongs to where our summation of the frequency or the cumulative frequency is equals to or greater than what we have here. Do you understand? Okay, please, it's simple. Okay, just understand the concept, because this is an objective question. So in objective, you will not be required to solve solution. You understand? That is why I teach you the simplest way. Having divided the frequency, the sum of the frequency by 2, you got 20.5. You go back to your to the table. You begin to sum the frequency from the left hand side. 3 plus 14, 17. 17 plus 30 plus 13 equals to 30. You can see that 30 is greater than 20.5. That means that the median age is what? 15. Do you understand? Oh, so that is the solution to that question. The median age is 15. The correct option to that question is option B, which is 15. Do you understand? And you can even sum the frequency from the right hand side. 3 plus 8 is what? That is 11. 11 plus 13. That is what? 24. So the median age is still 15 because that is where the cumulative frequency is greater than or equals to 20.5. Okay? So that is the solution to that question. The median age equals to 15. Do you understand? Okay? Let us proceed to the next question. The angle of elevation of the top P of a ladder PQ from its base Q 12 meters away from a wall is 36 degrees. Find, correct to the nearest meter, the length of the ladder. Okay, let us interpret the question. This question is coming from a topic known as angle of elevation. Okay, so angle of elevation and depression. And we are going to draw out the diagram. The angle of elevation of the top P of a ladder. Let us put the ladder here. From its base Q, 12 meters away from the wall. This is the wall. Okay, let's say this is the wall. And the ladder is resting on the wall. You understand? This is the ladder. The ladder is resting on this wall. Okay, so the angle of elevation is what? 36 degrees. So the angle of elevation is the angle between this place. That is 36 degrees. Okay. Now, the distance between the foot of the wall and the ladder, the wall and the ladder is what? 12 meters. So this will be what? 12 meters. You can see how I drew out the diagram. This is the wall. This is the ladder. The angle of elevation from the foot of the ladder is 36 degrees, and the distance between the wall and the foot of the ladder is what? 12 meters. So we are asked to calculate the length of the ladder. The length of the ladder is this length. So this is what we are looking for. Now, based on this, I can redraw the diagram as this. Okay, 36 degrees. The length of the ladder. Let me call this one P. Let's call this one Q. The angle of elevation of P of the ladder PQ. This one will be Q. And let's call this one O. So what you are looking for is this length. Now, you can see that this is a right angle triangle. We have been given that this is 12 meters. How do we calculate length PQ? To calculate PQ, we can make use of car. You understand? Because this is adjacent now, and this is the hypotenuse. You understand? This is the adjacent, and this is the hypotenuse. So, cos 36 degrees equals to what? Adjacent, which is 12, over hypotenuse, which we don't know. That's what we're looking for, over x. So x cos 36 degrees equals to 12. Okay, x equals to 12 all over cos 36 degrees. Okay, cos 36 degrees is what? Let's check. Cos 36 degrees, that is 0.8090. So I'm going to have x equals to 12 over 0.8090. So x equals to 12 divided by 0.8090. That is 14.83. 14.83. So x is approximately equals to 15 because we are told to find correct the nearest meter. So the value of the length of the ladder is 15 meters. The correct option to that question is option C. Okay, so you see, if you encounter this kind of question, first draw out the diagram. Having drawn the diagram, you can proceed to calculate. Okay, so let us proceed to the last question, which is question 50. A fair dice is thrown once. Find the probability of obtaining an odd number or a prime number. We have option A, 1 over 2, option B, 1 over 3, option C, 2 over 3, option D, 3 over 4. Okay. A die has how many faces? 6 face, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the face that a die has. These are the faces that a die has, you know. Now, the probability of obtaining an odd number or a prime number is this. The probability of obtaining an odd number or a prime number. An odd or a prime number. Now, to get the probability of obtaining an odd or prime number, the first step is that we have to first write out the odd number that are present in these numbers. Are you getting it? Okay. The odd number that are present are these 1, 3, and 5. Okay. And the prime number that are present in this number are what? The prime number that are present in this number include 2, 3, and 5. Okay. Now listen to me carefully. Please pay attention. Don't forget that prime numbers have two factors. One cannot be regarded as a prime number. Do you understand? Because it only has a single factor, which is itself. A prime number must have at least two factors. So we have 2, 3, and 5. Now, the probability of obtaining a prime number or an odd number, probability of prime number, obtaining a prime number or an odd number will be, now please pay attention. We have 1 here without repetition. 1, 2. You know that 3 and 5 is common to both the odd number and prime number. So we are going to choose one. Okay, that is 3 also, and this is 5. How many numbers do we have altogether? That is 4, right? So I'm going to have the probability of obtaining a prime number or an odd number is 4 all over the total numbers that are present in the die. That is 6. Okay, 4 over 6 is what? 2 over 3. So the correct answer to that question is 2 over 3. And the correct option is option C. Okay, that's the correct option. 2 over 3, option C is the correct option. So you can see how I solved the question. Okay, the first step is that you have to first write out the odd number that are present among these numbers. And the odd numbers are 1, 3, and 5. And the prime number that are present is 2, 3, and 5. Now, because in a die, in a die, we only have one faces that is recognized as 1. We have only a single face that is recognized as 2, and only a single face for 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So, but 3 and 5 repeat itself. So, I only choose 1, 3, and 1, 5. And the total numbers of prime and even prime or odd number without repetition is what? 1, 2, 3, 5. How many number is this? That is 4. 4 over the total numbers that we have in the die. That is 4 over 6. That is 2 over 3. Do you understand? Okay, so that is the solution to WAEC 2025 objective question. If you want to watch the theory solution, kindly check the link in the description of this video. And also please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and share the video to your friends. Okay, see you in the next class.